Hello all and welcome to a King of the Hill live stream. Should be very, very good fun. So, for those of you who don't know what a King of the Hill is, it's very, very simple. We're going to have two competitors slaughter each other's men on the fields, and the winner will become the current king. And then challengers can challenge him and try and take his spot. I'm going to see who can get the most wins consecutively. So, it should be quite good fun. Up first, we are going to have Noob for Life up against Poison Ducky, who in fact himself is a YouTuber and has a YouTube page. You should definitely go and check that out after watching this. And then we have the current challengers of Storm Runner, who I've definitely heard of before, but I don't think I've seen him play yet. And also F-Pod. We also have Consul of Rome, Logic, and Croissant Talbert desperately trying to get here in time to do a couple of games. So those guys can turn up a little bit later, so we're going to keep it rolling till then. I may also end up jumping in myself and playing a little bit. So I hope you guys are doing all good. I've been back in the streaming business a little while now, and I'm just going to message these guys and get them to come over and in. Just going to hop over on to Discord. Now, if any of you guys watching this want to hop in, feel free just to let me know. The easiest way to do it is on the YouTube chat itself. Rather than actually doing it on Discord, just because I'm going to be watching that a lot more, at least whilst streaming. And the rules are very simple. The first two competitors are going to be doing a gentleman's agreement and just choosing their armies. After that, whoever is King of the Hill, so who's currently fighting off all the kind of pretenders trying to kind of claim their throne, is going to pick a faction and then ban one faction. Apart from that, we're going to have unit caps on, and then the attacking rule from the Warhammer Cup rules, which is very simple. So if you're new to the game, don't worry too much. It just means that you have to ensure you're always attempting to attack your opponents. You're not kite drawing, any of that crazy stuff, and you cannot be counted as attacking, with one unit. So, example, Alphanar can't stroll up in and just start shooting people with his bow. So, single entities do not count as attacking. You have to be attacking with a unit, of course, if you have them. So, it should be some good fun. I can see a few people in the chat. Is this one on the beta? No, it is off beta. Cool. Looks like we have our first two challenges as well, Poison Ducky and Noob for Life in the chat. If you guys want to join the lobby. It is 1, 2, 3, and the I think it's called Ducky, I believe. But I'll send you guys invites because I have you guys on Steam anyway. Cool. Send you both some invites, so just hop in when you are ready. Good to see you, F-Pod, as well. I don't know if I've seen you around before. Are you a strong competitive player or fairly new to the game? This is, of course, open to anyone. It's going to be a very chilled out little King of the Hill tournament. Nothing too, heavy pressure or any of that type of stuff. We do have some tournaments coming up, so hopefully on Wednesday we are going to receive the return of Death Before Dishonor, if I can get the people here. Cool. Let's just send some invites. Cool. Hopefully those invites have gone through. They don't seem to be sending. Make sure I am in online mode on Steam. Yo, Tristan, what's up, dude? Do you fancy playing? Let me know, man. I can get you into the list. So, just going to make sure I'm online. Yep, I'm online. So hopefully the invite should be going through. Steam's been a bit weird. I'm sending invites on Steam and don't seem to be doing anything. So if I'm spamming you with invites Noob for Life, I'm attempting to get the invites to go through. I've sent you invites on the game if that's working, but if not, it is Ducky with the password 123. If not, I can always join a lobby and host from there. Regular fresh recruits, Tony guy. Nice, man. It'd be good to have you involved, man. What's the name of the game? It is Ducky. It won't let me join. Lobby may be bugged. Right. We'll see if Noob for Life wants to host, and then I can always hop in. Got weird. There's a lot of problems at the moment with Total War Warhammer, hence the beta having to come out as well to try and fix a lot of this stuff, and quick battles seem to be down. So Noob for Life is going to open up a lobby, and we'll simply join him. If not, I can try and rehost and whatnot. We had this problem last stream as well, and then it managed to kind of sort itself out quite comfortably, which is always good. So Noob for Life and Poison Ducky, played both of these guys before. Noob for Life, don't let his name trick you. He is a very, very good player, and as well is Poison Ducky, who is a YouTuber himself. And he does all kinds of content, not just Total War Warhammer, so feel free to go over there and have a little look. So we're going to let him load up a lobby and see how that goes. Matthew Bright, what's up, man? Everything good? You can't see it either. What is going on with this? Right. Let's go back. I can see a few games up. So, Rubber Duck. Okay, it looks like there is a lobby here. Let's try and spectate. Cool, that's a nice simple solution. So we're going to have people host the games, and I will simply pop in as a spectator. So, Poison Ducky Man, if you just want to hop into Noob for Life's party, and we should get this going. Noob for Life, can you set the map for Troll Country? Is it Troll Country or Troll County? He will understand either way. Cool. Yeah, does anyone know what's actually happening with the quick battles and so forth, and why it's messing up so badly? Have they kind of addressed how they're trying to fix it at all? But I'll send Poison Ducky a message anyway, let him know that Noob for Life has created a party. Where's Poison Ducky? Cool, there he is. Cool, and it looks like he's sorting out the map and so forth. It's a little bit of a slow start, guys. Sorry about this. I'm in the last stream as well. It's just the nature of things at the moment with Total War being in such a mess. I hope they really get it sorted soon, because it has seemed to have killed the multiplayer scene a little bit. There's a lot less games kind of being hosted and so forth, which kind of sucks. How is people finding the beta? Is it working well for them? Maybe I should give that a go at some point. Cool. Let's see if Poison Ducky's all good. Looks like he's on to a Warhammer, which is a good start. Yeah. Friendly noob real quick. Yeah, no rush, man. We're super chill. There is no time limit. Hey, here he is. We have Poison Ducky in the mic play. So this is perfect. We're all good to go. Who is your money on? Have you guys faced these guys before? I have faced both, and they're both very good players. Cool, so the first match, as I said before, it's going to be Gentleman's Agreement, just for anyone who's new here, and then from that point onwards, the King of the Hill will decide who he's going to play as, and then ban one faction, and we get going from there. Very nice and simple. Hopefully you can get quite a few new players popping in, some experienced players, get a nice mix and match. Now if you are new to my channel, I do multiplayer battles, I do tournaments, I do campaigns, I do the lot, and I'm branching out into other games as well. So if you do end up enjoying the stream and enjoying the content, feel free to subscribe. Give a big old thumbs up, like on the video. It actually helps huge amounts, as I am a relatively new and growing channel, so the big likes and all that stuff really helps get the name out there. And yeah, just chill out. And if you do want to support the channel in any other way, feel free. I do have a Patreon account down below, but at the same time, no pressure. If you just want to chill out and watch, feel free to do that as well. See, we've got quite a few people watching, which is good, because I think we are competing up against a couple of fairly bigger YouTubers, which is a little bit of a problem streaming on weekends. I normally work weekends and stream during the weeks. But, you know, it's always good to see new people. Cool, looks like we have a Vampire Counts versus Norska matchup. I quite like this in favour of the Norskans. We are going to have to get a blocker up, now that we're not in me spectating. So what do I have as a blocker? Oh, It's a bit much. Yeah, there we go. Someone remind me to get rid of that, because I have famously left on a blocker before for an entire game. But I can tell you, can I click between the armies? I can't. I can only see Noob for Life. Okay, it's the added tension of not knowing what Poison Ducky is going to bring. But from what I can see from Noob for Life's build, it is a very solid build. Pretty standard, I think, for what most Norskans would bring in this matchup. With a couple of really cool units. I know Noob for Life at the moment is very big over on Noob Hammer, which is a Total War Discord, mainly designed to allow new players to get into the multiplayer scene, so I also recommend checking them out over there. Okay, name change. Sweet man. Yeah, so we're now, Stormrunner, in case you just joined, we're going to be joining up on whoever the king is going to be hosting as well. It seems like spectator mode seems to be a bit bugged, which sucks. But, you know, we got through there in the end. It should be good. Stormrunner, are you a fairly new player to the community, or have you played quite a lot of competitive play before? It's nice to see some new faces as well on the channel. I don't think we've had you play on here. I don't know if I've played against you. I may have. But Norskans versus vampires. I quite like this for the Norskans, because they're very good at hunting down big, nasty, crazy monsters, which of course the vampires bring a lot of. But at the same time, Graveguard and stuff can be really tricky to deal with, and you need your big monsters yourself to kind of take those units out. But big monsters are always a risk, especially with stuff like Terrorgeist flying around, who can deal with mammoths fairly well. Should be interesting. Who would I bring in this matchup? Probably Wulfric the Wanderer, I would say, just for helping snipe out lords. And I find him just a bit more versatile than Frog, who's just this big hammer you chuck in and can't really escape if he gets in trouble. But if you chuck Wulfric up on a mammoth, or perhaps even just on his chariot or horse, gives you so much extra movability, which really helps out. So it looks like Noob for Life is ready, just waiting on Poison Ducky. But there is No Rush. No new to my player, but played since launch. Okay, cool, man. That's really cool, man, to have you back though and getting your teeth sunk into some multiplayer. Have you been finding the campaigns? I'm doing a Snickage run at the moment and it is awesome. Cool, looks like they're both ready. So we're going to take down the blocker. Boom. So hopefully that should be all good on the screen. Cool. Let me know if anything is wrong on the screen, but it should be all good as we're loading in here. So, Troll Country, very, very small map, and tend to start all of my tournaments and streams off with this map, as it's a full-on blood and thunder affair. Everything gets kicked off very quickly in this very small, close-quarters map. There's also a lot of trees around, dotted around, so you can do a lot of sneaky ambushing, which of course Norskans can do with a few units that they have. Vanguard. Vampires, on the other hand, a lot more kind of a steamroll army. They tend to just push through you with nasty infantry, lots of magic, and big monsters. So how have you guys found this matchup before? I think it favours Norska, in my humble opinion. I don't think they worry so much about fear and terror. Don't have the best leadership, but at the same time, they often go very berserk and just churn their way through those cheap vampire infantry. I think in the infantry fight, at least, apart from Graveguard, who can put up a very good fight, cheap marauders and so forth just eat up spearmen and zombies for breakfast. Should be good as they're both loaded in now. Now don't worry if games take a long time to load in. People have different levels of computer and so forth, but it means nothing about the connection of the game. You can only really find out if there's lag and stuff once you've hopped in. But I've played against both these guys before and they have very good internet connections. It looks like we are loading in now. So one little quick check at chat. First load takes a bit. No worries, Poison Ducky. There is no pressure. Cool. And let's get this underway. So, Noob for Life's army will go through his first. It looks like for his front line, he has a mixture of marauders. He's moving them up over here. We have a lot of basic marauders, very good in this matchup, as we just spoke about, and a ton of marauder spearmen as well for a big, nice, cheap and cheerful core. And in the back, he is going to have 1, 2, 3 units of Marauder Hunters with Javelins. Fantastic units for taking down enemy cav that you pin up with other units and for taking down big monsters. We do, in fact, have a big monster of his own, though, Soul Crusher, the renowned War Mammoth, who's going to be leading the front line alongside Wulfric the Wanderer on another Mammoth. So we've got some big dino mashing to be getting on with in this battle. Very cool front line. So nice, cheap and cheerful with some hard-hitting big monsters. We also have 1 unit of hounds, which is in fact the Beasts of Tashnar. These guys catch a lot of people off guard, as they are in fact anti-large as well. It's a nice little bit of backline harass. And also, do we have some magic? Looks like we do. He was underneath the Mammoth's bum for a second there. Let's have a look. So there is a mage caster somewhere. Are you literally sitting inside the Mammoth? Yes, you are. We have a Shaman Sorcerer of Fire. Looks like he has Burning Head, Sword of Ruin, and Fireball. Burning Head, very good here. So, for the Vampire Count and Poison Ducky, he's got a front line of zombies. So nice, cheap, and cheerful, just to hold the enemy back a little bit. And in the reserve, he does have the much more elite Grave Guard, including the regiment-renowned Stearnsmen. I think these guys are a very good pick here, as they do very decent against Marauders compared to normal troops. On the right-hand flank here, we have some Black Knights. And over on the left-hand flank, we have some Blood Knights, the much more hardcore variety, and another unit of Black Knights. So going for that cav heavy, trying to get some cycle charging while he slows them down with the zombies and starts to churn through that front line with the Grave Guard. Up in the sky, we do have a Strigil Vampire Lord. Haven't seen this guy in multiplayer, maybe ever. I mean, not in a very long time at least. And he has brought a whole host of spells. Main ones, though, being Spirit Leech, which is going to be very good, and Invocation of the Heck, and all his other abilities. We also have a Corpse Cart in the back there to support the front line, and a White King. I like having a couple of these guys. He's got 2, in fact, on the front line, on foot, really going to help out against the enemy heroes and so forth. So, overall, I really like that balance of both armies. Who does this favour? Cool, looks like Poison Ducky is ready. Cool, just letting them, there's no need to kind of wait for me or anything. Looking at both armies, I think the vampires could really struggle to deal with those giant mammoths. They don't have too much anti-large apart from the 1 unit of Blood Knights. And he's got to deal with 2 mammoths. I know you have healing if you're vampires, but that's a lot of mammoth to get through. But the front line should go fairly well, I think, for the vampires. Those Grave Guard may get swarmed down, I suppose, by sheer numbers and trampled on by the mammoths. But if left unimpeded, they will mow through the marauders fairly successfully. And these javelins could be a big pain for the big flyboy up in the sky here. Looks like we're having a little bit of lag all of a sudden, which is a shame, as it was perfect. So, oh, it looks like that was just kicking off as they were readying up. Cool. So the battle will get underway. Looks like we have a little bit of lag, but it is starting to subside. As we can see, the Vampire Lord does start flying forward. So, of course, in these type of tournaments where inviting anyone to hop in can get this occasionally, but it looks like it has sorted itself out. And both armies immediately taking the initiative and charging it directly towards each other, which should be pretty fun. Looks like Wulfric, though, turning his butt to face the enemy, as well as the other mammoth here, as we're just hoping for this lag to subside. But overall, yeah, I quite like the defensive shape of the Norscan build. Frontline should hold at least for a decent while and churn through some zombies, and allow those Marauder hunters with javelins to really do some decent damage. Looks like the mammoths are sitting back a little bit and allowing the rest of their troops to catch up. So, I love the idea this guy's just hiding, literally right behind the mammoth for protection here, as both armies are having a little look at each other. So it looks like a Shriek did come down on top of the Marauders and do some decent damage there. But we are getting a few javelins now thrown at that Vampire Lord, which could do some really decent damage if he just sits there, and he is sitting there. But it looks like most of those javelins were in fact a miss. It looks like a White King is charging directly into the front line, trying to break the charge of the Marauders before sending in the rest of his units. So decent play there. So nice play by Poison Ducky. So we do have some Black Knights lurking in the sides here. Has that happened on both flanks? It has, in fact. So they're just waiting for the opportune moment to come in and strike the back of this front line. And you can see the Marauders are being pulled a little bit out of position from their defensive position. We have zombies fleeing, allowing these Grave Guards to get a decent charge. White King, though, is also backing up. But on this side, Wolf the Wanderer has popped in, and he's just slamming some zombies. We have some Blood Knights coming in, and they're going to be perfect for taking down Wulfric. If he can get his Lord over here to help support as well, he could really do a number on the Norscan War Chief there. We have some Black Knights coming in for the rear charge as well on top of these Spearmen and trying to pin Wulfric in place. But it looks like a big Burning Head is coming down on top of these Grave Guard, doing some decent damage, but then unfortunately going through his own Marauders. Looks like for the most part they managed to dodge it there, but a fairly unsuccessful Burning Head. Stearnsmen are chewing through some Marauders, and that's going to be kind of the battle going through the whole front lines here. Those Marauders are going to start to struggle. They really need the Mammoths, but one of them is pinned in. Wulfric the Wanderer is now pinned in by the Lord, who's dropped all his buffs, and Blood Knights. He's really going to struggle as some Crypt Horrors have been summoned as well. However, the White King is kind of paying for this, but that's a very good trade, losing a White King and taking out the enemy general. So he really needs to get some support over here as fast as possible, Noob for Life. It looks like the Soul Crusher is answering the call to battle. He's destroyed these Graveguard on the front line, allowing these Marauders to punch above their weight. And it looks like the Black Knights are also being dragged down by some very sneaky play. Beasts of Tashnar getting in there and pulling those guys from their horses. So fairly even battle so far. If anything, though, I would say it is going in favour. Oh, definitely now in favour of Poison Ducky, as he's managed to drag down Wulfric, and it looks like he's going to completely destroy him, down to 1,000 health, and he is routing. Flaming Sword of Ruin has been popped, though, allowing the Soul Crusher to hopefully do some decent damage. And they've got a lot of Marauder Hunter Javelins, Kobe some shots over here, trying to make Poison Ducky pay by taking down his Lord. And it looks like another Flaming Head does go down. This one a lot more successful, hitting a unit of zombies and the Sternsman. Doing some pretty good damage to Sternsman and just deleting those zombies off the field. But they did manage to win that engagement anyway, and across the battle, it looks like the vampires are starting to get the upper hand. I didn't think they were going to have enough anti-large, but I was definitely proven wrong there, as Wulfric, you can see, completely shattered off the battlefield now, and being escorted by the Vampire Lord. And the Soul Crusher just being dragged down. Blood Knights, yes, they took a hammering, but they did their job. We have Marauders notes starting to clear up some Graveguard. There's a pocket of strength over here, though, for the vampire counts. And it looks like the Marauders and the Norskins in general are really on the back foot. There's a nice rear charge coming in here by the Blood Knights, or Black Knights in this case, just to shut down these Marauder Hunter Javelins, who do need to be shut down. They can still do a lot of damage, maybe help finish off those Blood Knights, and then allow the Soul Crusher to pick this game on his back and really carry his forces home. Some Spearmen, and in fact the Soul Crusher himself, are counter-charging the Black Knights, trying to get them off the field and rescue these Javelins, who could be very key if there is going to be a comeback. And it looks like another Burning Head coming down on top of a unit of zombies and some Graveguard. Might also clip some Marauder Spearmen, but that's a pretty good trade if you can get some decent damage. And he did okay damage, nothing too fantastic though. So, the Soul Crusher, very good play here by Noob for Life. Realising he's in trouble, has dragged him into some Spearmen, allowing the Spearmen to take down the Knights, who are very, very beat up now. Just 13 models in that unit, and 22 in this unit of Blood Knights, but they are getting healed by an Invocation. So is there any units that could come back and make a difference? We have some Marauder Spearmen and some Marauder in the outskirts. And we do have the Sternsmen, who are chasing down a unit of Marauder Spearmen. I would leave those guys and maybe chase them off with zombies and bring these guys into the main fight, including this unit of Graveguard here. Try and crush the Norskins while you can. You don't want them to, rally troops like this and have any chance of a comeback. So it looks like a White King was trying to chase down a Shaman Sorcerer. He's very cleverly there, hauled ours, and is just blitzing it away as fast as he can. And the Soul Crusher is going in for a duel against the Vampire Lord, who's popped all his buffs there, making him a very, very dangerous combatant. Plus that damage resistance can be very useful. But he's taken a lot of javelins to the face. He's taken a lot of anti-large from the Marauder Spearmen as well. As you can see, Poison Ducky does respond with the Graveguard coming in, and they will be able to mulch through these Marauder Spearmen. I just don't see a way back, really, for the Norskins at this point. But he's fighting to the death, which I always like to see. Looks like we do have a summon in the back here. A unit of Crypt Ghouls who are going to be able to chase down and scare off these Marauder Hunters. Very nice play overall. Looks like the Vampire Lord fairly healthy still. He's at his healing cap, but still over 4,000 health. Whereas the Soul Crusher down to 2,000, surrounded by Blood Knights, surrounded by a White King. And it looks like he's going to be scared off the battlefield as well. There's some rallying Spearmen in the background, but they're not going to be able to do too much. They'll be able to beat zombies and so forth off the field. But for the most part, it looks like the Norskins are going to be starting to break. In the Corpse Cart coming in, boosting his troops as well. I'm sure doing a decent job. And another Burning Head coming down. It's the 4th or 5th of the game. Getting some decent damage across the Graveguard overall, but it's just a little bit too little too late. The Shaman Sorcerer is up to 82 kills, but the Flaming Head would be much more useful against a cheap and cheerful vampire line, of skeletons and so forth. As we can see, it looks like it's starting to get to breaking point. Army losses is starting to set in very soon. As we can see, Norskins are now heavily outnumbered, and if you're ever outnumbered against vampire counts, it normally spells disaster. We have a pocket of strength over here, some Marauder Spearmen fighting for their life, some Marauders hacking down at some zombies for their Norse gods, But even them, against the pitiful zombies, are going to flee. And that looks like it's army losses and GG. So very well done to Poison Ducky, representing the ducks of the world. Very proud of him there. And well played to Noob for Life. You know, he gave it a very good go. And of course, he can come back into the queue as well to hop in and try and get some vengeance as well. Maybe play some Dowie and get that vengeance there. So as we can see, very nice game overall. 82 kills on the Shaman Sorcerer was the real MVP for Noob for Life, and the Soul Crusher trying to carry the game on his back. But unfortunately, Wolfric the Wanderer getting pinned in there, getting dragged down. Very nice play by Poison Ducky, trapping him early on, and really putting Noob for Life in a very precarious situation from the off. Oh no, it looks like we can keep this lobby. Cool, so I believe it is Storm Runners Go. So if you want to hop in the lobby, my friend, the password is 123 and it's just called a rubber duck of war. And we'll get you in. I'll send him a message as well, just in case he's not in the chat. I'll have a quick look at chat as well, actually. Ugh. What have I missed? Commander Duncan, how's it going, my friend? We are doing a King of the Hill with Poison Ducky just winning the first match. So he is going to be 1 up, which is very good. So it's just basically winner stays on. Very simple rules. The winner, the current king, in this case it is Poison Ducky, chooses a faction, bans a faction, and then we get going from there. So we have Storm Runner. Love the name, by the way. Cool. So change the names there. Make sure he's not in already. Oh, we'll keep this one. Can I change map? No. Cool, make sure they just change map, and that's all good. So yeah, Storm Runner, if you're watching. Oh, you are. Here but can't sit. Yo, Logic, what's up, man? Do you want to add Poison Ducky to your friends list, and he should be able to send you an invite, but I will hop onto Discord as well. Ah! Have I been kicked off? Why have I been kicked off Total War? Oh, sorry about that. It looks like I've been kicked off Total War for some reason. Don't do this to me, game. I don't know if you closed the lobby and then it flipped us out. Yeah, Commander Duncan, you can join, man, if you want. There's a short queue, so at the moment it is Storm Runners Go to challenge Poison Ducky, and after that we have F-Pod, and then it can be you. It can be you. Annoyingly, it kicks me off the game, but we're just loading back up now. Looks like it's all fine. It is, in fact, loading in, which is a good sign. Hey, okay, we got to the front cinematic and all that. Damn CA Games. Cool, and Rubber Duck is still up there, so we'll spectate. Cool, so I'm back in the lobby. I'll let him know to add him as a friend. Cool. So we'll let these guys sort it out. Yeah, just crashed Bird, but it's back up now. So Poison Ducky will add you as a friend and then just invite you to the lobby. If worse comes to worse, we can try someone else as a host as well. Yeah, Lodge, you can get into the queue, man, if you fancy playing. I'll just write you down. Logic. So we have Storm Runner competing next, then we have F-Pod, and then it will be Logic. We also have Consul of Rome, Cross on Talbot, also waiting in the wings if they can make it in time. And Warden Duncan as well, should be very good. Who did make his debut on my channel just a couple of days ago. Cool. Looks like Stormrunner is on now, just sorting out on Discord. He sent me his name. Cool, looks like they're sorting out. So it might be a little, so we might have to do this throughout the stream, as it looks like Total War servers are a little bit garbage at the moment. But they're sorting each other out on Discord, which is fun. Gives us a chance to chat. Hope you're all doing good. Did you guys all have a good Christmas? What did you think of the latest DLC? So many questions. You can ask me anything, and I may answer truthfully. Then again, I may not. Also, in this downtime, if you want to hit a big old thumbs up for the stream, feel free. I believe in you. And also, I forgot to mention, I mentioned this quite a few streams now, so I just need to remind the people. When you hit a like on my video, a puppy is born into the world, and everyone's happy. Everyone loves puppies. But if you don't, if you press a dislike, a puppy dies. And that's a really sad thing. No one wants to see a puppy die. So, just saying, it's in your hands. You don't have to do it, but, I like puppies. Hey, Stormrunner's here! Glory! Glorious! We'll get this crack-a-lackin'. So I will quickly pop up a blocker. Boom! So we can't see his army. If I forget to take that down, constantly scream at me in chat until I until I take it down, because I may well forget. So Poison Ducky will choose a faction and then ban one. And we get to see the mighty Stormrunner's first ever game on our channel, which should be very cool. No! Puppies have died! I saw that. I like cats more. Cats are cool. I honestly have nothing against cats. I'm just more of a dog person. Always grown up with dogs. But my dad's girlfriend's also got a cat called Smudge, who I've become a big fan of. And he lives in a house of dogs, so I always feel bad for him. There's like 4 dogs there and 1 cat. But he's very cool. It's good to see new people as well in the chat. I haven't seen a lot of you before. Hello to Suave? Is that how you say your name? Hello to Suave and Weist. I don't think I've seen you guys before, so welcome, welcome. Hope you enjoy. And yeah, we're about to get a crack-lackin'. If you guys are new to the channel and you want to know what I do, I basically do 90% Total War Warhammer games, I do multiplayer games, I do replays, so you guys can send me replays and I will cast them on the channel. We have a really cool one coming up with a Sly and Sneaky Seal against Consul of Rome, which is very, very good. Sly and Sneaky Seal definitely lives up to his name. I do campaigns, tournaments, all sorts, and I like to get other people involved. So yeah, please do subscribe and just talk to me on Discord and stuff if you do want to get involved at all. Oh, Wencat. Okay. You know about the legendary Wencat, do you? I am trying to read your name now, because I know it's going to be... It's Tim, I think, being this guy, but I don't know how to break down your name. You had 3 dogs and then 2 cats now. How do you find the difference? Because in, like, kind of looking after them. So obviously dogs need a lot more walking and stuff compared to cats. Cool. So it looks like Poison Ducky has gone Tomb Kings, and he is in fact banned Wood Elves. Stormrunner is going Chaos. Very interesting matchup here. You often see a lot of use Shopty bows and so forth, which can take down those heavily armoured troops, big monsters and so forth. But I haven't played this matchup too much personally, so it could be interesting. I could see a burning head like we saw in the previous game from Noob for Life working really well here. Tomb Kings do not like fire at all, and their front lines will disappear to that type of thing, and then allow you to force the rest of your troops through. I'm expecting a pretty blood and thunder affair. Who is your money on? Do you think Poison Ducky can continue this legacy? Yes, Logic, I'm very, very suspicious of who this person is now. It could be my friend Tim, who is a incredible Total War player, but refuses to play on stream, at least under his own name. He may have played on my channel before, but I can't really say. He's quite a private person, so he doesn't like... I think he used to play a little while ago and kind of, quote-unquote, retired because he gets loads of people messaging him wanting to play and stuff. And looking for advice. But he's a really nice guy, and I'm happy he supports the channel still. Which is real good. So far, 1-0 Poison Ducky. Does anyone think they can do better? Cat's a lot easier to take care of? I imagine so. I really did think that was most likely. My housemates were debating getting a little dog, but we all work different jobs at different times, and it might be a bit of a nightmare. So we're going to have to wait and see. But I do miss living with dogs. It is a great thing. So we have Stormrunner, then we have the legendary F-Pod coming to claim vengeance, and then Logic. And if you want to be next, let me know. I can get you into the queue. We're probably going to be going for about 2 hours, roughly. And we're just going to tot up at the end who's managed to get the biggest win streak. But there is no time pressure on these guys to build some armies. Cool, looks like Poison Ducky is ready, just waiting on Stormrunner. This is a very cool map as well, El Anguil, which I butcher the name of every single time, but that's what I do. Let's see. Cool, looks like they are both ready. Yeah, we're going to break down the map a little bit more when we pop in, but it's a very popular map for tournaments, and there's a very good reason why. Cool, let's take away the image. Cool, and we're back. We are back. I'm ready to see some violence. That's what I'm here for. Blood, glory. Well, I suppose you don't get much blood while killing Tomb Kings, but, you know, glory, slaughtering your foes, and all that good stuff. So, as you can see, while we wait for the players to load in, I'll go over the map a little bit. This map is a super fun map, because there's multiple tactical advantages you can take care of as a general. There is a lot of wooded terrain on both sides of the field for lots of sneaky ambushes. You can lure people into this open ground very easily. Equally, if you don't want to play, the very sneaky, more wood elf style of play, poking your head from behind some trees and doing some nasty tricks and ambushes, you can just force your opponent to come to this massive open field right here. Now, what I've seen a lot of players do who want to play defensive when on this side of the field won't even bother going for the middle. They will just deploy themselves in this big open field over here and force the enemy to come to them, as of course there's no trees over here for sneaky ambushes. So let's go through the new player, the contender. We have Stormrunner. Leading his forces is Archaon, the ever-chosen, the OG Papa Daddy over here, with Slayer of Kings, Stand or Die, and Foeseeker. Spell-wise, he's brought Burning Head, which I think could be an absolute match winner depending on the armies. Flaming Sword of Ruin, and Fireball, so same matchup we saw Noob for Life use. We also have a Chaos Sorcerer of Metal, so going for 2 wizards here, with simple Plague of Rust and Final Transmutations, maybe just kind of keep him reserved to drop that giant spell if he needs to. Now for his front line, he does have 2 cheap units of Chaos Marauders, just holding the very front, and then some more elite units in the back. We have some Forsaken! What a hero! I haven't seen Forsaken used in multiplayer in forever. I'm really excited to see how these guys do. Plus Chaos Spawn! What is this madness? So we have Forsaken, we have the Demon Spew, Regiment Renowned Forsaken, and another unit of Forsaken with 2 units of Chaos Spawn, including the Regiment Renowned version, and much more likely, often picked Summoners of Rage as well here. The Regiment Renowned Dragon Ogres. What an army! A Chaos Ferromanticore to summon it all off. So he's just going to be trying to punch his way through that Tomb King's build. I'm really excited to see how this plays off. And as we can see, as kind of expected, Poison Ducky, who wants to take a more defensive approach using some of his ranged troops, is ignoring the trees completely and forcing his opponent to come into the open here. Let's have a little look at his build. So he has some skeleton spearmen mixing with skeleton warriors. Nice, cheap and cheerful chaff just to hold the enemy in place for as long as possible. We also have the Regiment Renowned version in the back here, King Nakesha's Scorpion Legion, being kept in reserve slightly. Now we also have some Stalkers. There's some crazy units coming in. I never see these guys played, really. So these guys are currently hidden. They, of course, do have Stalk and all that good stuff. Cause fear. Do they actually cause terror? Nope, they just cause fear. They have Stalk. And, yeah, should be pretty good to see how these guys do. I don't really see them, but they kind of work as a cav for the Tomb Kings. We also have 2 Bone Giants in the back here in this defensive box, who are bodyguards either side of the High Queen herself. These guys are going to be shooting at their giant bows, cobing them over and trying to do some serious damage. Is there anything we've forgotten here? We do have 1 unit of Ushopti. Not the bow variety though, but the combat ones. Those guys should really help out this, quite weak and cheap and cheerful army. We also have a Leech Priest of Light here, which is, I always find it quite interesting that they can bring light. And we have Far's Protection, which is very good, given that extra armor and melee defense. Net of Amtok, which is huge, keep pinning someone in place, which could really help with those Bone Giants doing some massive damage. And also the Curse for the minus 60 armor. And yeah, that looks about it. So, pretty cool armies, I'm not going to lie. I didn't expect either of these builds. It'd be good to see how, well this defensive build goes, how the Bone Giants do, and can they do enough damage, because these Forsaken, and of course Chaos Spawn and so forth, will mulch through this front line, but it really depends on how long can they hold, how much damage can they do. So it looks like I've got a bit of a cheeky Vanguard as well, the Stalkers, just to scout out the enemy a little bit. So I'm going to take one last little look at chat before we get going. Yeah, I can play, bro. Sweet. They already works and they're pretty great now. Well, it's going to be interesting to see. I'm praying they're great. Was that in the latest DLC? F-Pod, of course, there in chat, is our next competitor. So he needs to get his glasses on here and spy out the opposition. Is it going to be Poison Ducky with the 2-0, holding his crown? Or is it going to be a new king? Oops, Storm Runner's ready. Cool, so no, there's no need to wear me, and the battle is underway. So of course, Stormrunner is going to have to scream forward with his army as fast as possible to shut down those Bone Giants before they do too much damage. Ferromanticore has actually spotted the Stalkers now, how can we moving up, and in fact do have ranged attacks as well as combat. Don't see these guys too much, but they are anti-large armor piercing. They can do a decent job, especially if the Chaos Manticore gets a little over bold and tries something a little bit stupid. The Stormrunner going to be approaching nice and steadily here, trying to keep his formation as much as possible, but realigning it as well to face the new threats. So it looks like he did remember his Chaos Sorcerer there. I've sometimes left my Sorcerer right at the back, which is an absolute nightmare. So Summons of Rage, keeping their distance, don't want to get in range of these guys. We're going to do a nice little bit of skirmish here, and that is some pretty decent damage, but it is only into Chaos Marauders, but also the Forsaken. That is some really nice damage, and unfortunately the Chaos don't really have much to counter this. They haven't bought Marauder Horse Masters or anything. The Ferromanticore can't really charge in there. You may be able to charge in there to pin them down. The Bone Giants are unleashing some shots now as well into the word Spawn here. Chaos Spawn Regiment Renowned, doing some early damage. But as you can see, the distance isn't that far before the Chaos are really going to come into their element and start tearing apart some skeletons. Looks like Ferromanticore and Chaos Sorcerer hopping in here, trying to pin these guys down as they retreat. And it looks like they successfully pinned in one unit really well here. And they're going to get a rear charge now by some Forsaken. And those guys are starting to break instantly. So yes, there was some early damage. I really liked the early Stalk play here. But unfortunately, it's not going to be worth it if these guys get caught. Arkeln coming forward as well with his flaming sword on his flaming steed, and he will make short work of these guys if he gets in contact. One swipe there takes down a model, but a big net in retaliation coming in from Poison Ducky here, really trying his best to rescue the situation. But will he notice this burning head in time? He does. He moves his troops out the way, but he got there in time, just about, but it still nearly destroyed the entire unit. But thankfully he managed to save his other unit. That spell is so good against Tomb Kings. So Summoner's Rage are trying to chase down these Stalkers in the back here. They'll be able to finish off this one unit, but they are in a bit dangerous territory here. As we can see, the Bone Giants are flinging some shots across at them, but a Chaos Feral Manticore popping in and shutting down one Bone Giant. I'm not sure who actually wins if the Bone Giant stands and fights, but it's going to be shutting down his range, and that is the key thing here. Now this big hole that was created by that Bone Head is allowing the Chaos to just storm through that breach there. We do have Archaon just cutting through some King Lakesh's Scorpion Legion, not where he wants to be fighting Spearman, as he is up on his mighty steed there. So he's going to be trying to get back, maybe hop on top of some of these Bone Giants. Manticore is being deleted here by the High Queen herself, who also has Fast Protection cast on a large radius here. It looks like the reserve by Poison Ducky is being force forward, trying to hold back this tide of chaos, and it is a bit of a struggle. So he really needs to get these Skeleton Spearmen engaged and get the Stalkers back dealing some damage. But he does have Archaon pinned in by Spearmen, which is very good. And across the front line, we have some more Spearmen. 5 Summoners of Rage. Less they have anti-large, they still will take a pounding. And Shopti are desperately trying to hold back the foe here. Over here, looks like a big curse has come down on the Chaos Sorcerer and all surrounding units. Really trying to help these units hold the line, but honestly, they're getting deleted. Bone Giants really need to get some heavy value now, firing some shots in here. And as you can see, they've done some really decent long-range damage to the Chaos, and Forsaken aren't the tankiest of fellows. Shots 360 no-scope right there. Just boom, another shot coming in, really doing some huge damage. So actually, pinning these guys in may be a bit of a saving grace here. But as we can see, power of balance ever so slightly tipped in the favour of Chaos. So Skeleton Spearmen holding the line fairly well. Summoners Rage are slowly deleting them though. We do have the Stalkers coming back over, trying to do some long range damage, but they're going to get picked off by Forsaken and some Chaos Summons now. Not Chaos Summons, sorry, Chaos Spawn. But both Bone Giants now being able to fire 53 kills on one, 17 on the other. Come on mate, you need to pick up your game and really help out your team as they're struggling. And unfortunately for the Tomb Kings, Archaon is an absolute monster. Slow-mo walking his way through, trying to get on top of the High Queen. She's trying to slither away on top of her giant snake there. But if Archaon does get on top of her, she will be destroyed very, very quickly. As you can see, it's become a little bit of a skirmish game over here, with the Chaos trying to run down the sneaky snakes and the Spearmen desperately trying to run over and assist, but they're just a little bit too slow, and it looks like the snakes are being forced very far away. But at the same time, it's dragging a lot of the Chaos troops away, allowing these Bone Giants to get some really good value. And I really like them as a pick here, and unfortunately, it looks like he had to go very cheap on his infantry as a a cost for this, and his infantry is just getting destroyed. Speaking of which, I may be wrong here. I have been wrong multiple times already this stream. It's not an uncommon thing. It looks like, with some help for some summons used Shopti and constant fire by the Bone Giants, the Tomb Kings have actually managed to turn this engagement around and break off 3 separate units and now isolate Archaon, who's pops down or die. He's in a very precarious situation. If him and the Chaos Sorcerer goes down, his Bone Giants could really carry this victory. The power of balance now in fact switching and turning in favour of the King. Poison Ducky is rallying to the King, or the Queen in this situation, but she's also in dangerous territory. This could be pivotal who wins this duel. If Archaon turns around and slaps the Queen to death, who does have Fire's protection, help and protect her, it could still mean victory for the Chaos. But if Archaon falls himself, this could easily turn the other way, still on a knife's edge. Some of the raids have been forced off now. They are routing. One guy left. I can't see him coming back. Nice shooting there by the Bone Giant. Looks like the leadership fight is going in favour just about of Chaos. The Tomb Kings really need to get these guys out of here. The Leech Priest, I think you are done for, my friend. But it looks like the Queen has managed to escape with 500 health. In retaliation, though, Chaos Sorcerer is wavering himself. But Archaon streaming forth. He doesn't care. He's running past everyone else in the battlefield, hunting down the Queen. And he's very fast on his steed. Some nice dukes coming in by the High Queen, but a big slap in the back does put her to the sword, and down she goes. And then he instantly goes and snipes the only other leadership in the Tomb King's army. Has Archaon single-handedly managed to turn this game back in favour of Chaos, but it could be too little too late. Power balance is massively against him at this point. A lot of his troops are merely fleeing and routing the field, and we have 2 fairly healthy Bone Giants left with ammunition as well. Snakes are coming in, trying to tear down Archaon. He's going to flee. He doesn't want to fight there. He's going to try and rally his troops. And if there is a final transmutation still left in the vault by this Chaos Sorcerer, dropping it down here could really change the game. Like an overcasted one would be so tasty right now. Okay, Sorcerer charges in boldly on the Bone Giant and gets absolutely slapped. That single Summon Rage comes back and gets a decent hit in. Is he going to get any kills for returning? No, it looks like he's going to get torn down. Archaon is doing a number over on this Bone Giant, but he is surrounded by a lot of foes. It looks like Stormrunner is trying to unite his hero forces where he can and make a decent stand. This is by no means game over. It's still on a knife's edge. Chaos Marauders rally into the field, should do decent work against some Skeleton Spearmen, but there is a big, very scary, terror-causing Bone Giant. These guys may not be able to survive. So this Bone Giant is going down to the combined forces of that one very brave Summoner of Rage, who is now starting to rout from the field. Archaon and the Sorcerer. Chaos Sorcerers, of course, very good in combat. And a big burning head coming down now. Ooh, looks like lots of skeletons managed to push forward, but some decent damage on the King Nakish's Scorpion Legion. I think going this way might have been a slightly better bet there, but still a very good cast nonetheless, got some decent damage. So Archaon just trying to juke some shots where he can. Probably going to try and rally these forces over here and pick on the isolated Bone Giants where he can. He doesn't want to be fighting all these nasty spearmen. There's a lot of King Nakesh's Scorpion Legion left. And a nice shot coming in. Archaon down to 1,400 health. So he's trying his best Stormrunner here. He is going down with a fight, but I don't know if he's going to have enough in him. But Archaon, very, very tanky lord. He's down to 1,000 health. Lots of spearmen. Needs to get these Chaos Marauders moving back into the fray to help deal with them. Looks like we do have some Forsaken going to pop on top of this Bone Giant. Not sure how good they're going to do. There's only 14 of them left, so their leadership is going to be very wavery. But so is the Bone Giants. Big scrap going on here. Archaon, Wizard, come on. Can you keep going? Can you do it? Looks like he's going to be sneaking away. So we are playing with the attack and roll, but as you can see, he does have units in combat, so he can cycle charge like this with Archaon. GG, Stormrunner says he thinks it's game over. No word by Poison Ducky though, he is focused. This could still be happening. Don't know, the Bone Giant's going down. But the Sorcerer has been pushed off here. He will rally though and will come back. He's pretty decent melee combatant, but looks like most of the Winds of Magic have been used up. Bone Giant's really struggling up against Archaon here. But it looks like this Bone Giant over on the left flank did manage to break off those Forsaken. That is huge, as now he can ping some shots in. And yeah, if he gets one or two good shots on Archaon, Archaon is going down. So we have the Chaos Marauders standing and fighting here, trying to drag down as many Skeleton Warriors and King Nakesh's Scorpion Legion as possible. Doing a decent job of it as well. Bone Giant now put into defense mode. Yeah, this is going to be game over. Very nice play. Even though they're in combat, if you put them on guard mode, they can still shoot. And he managed to blitz Archaon on the back. Super, super close game. Very good effort by Stormrunner there. I like his build. Haven't seen a lot of these units in recent memory. Huge kills coming up on the Demon Spew and other Forsaken. Archaon really carrying that army, but Poison Ducky, he's there to hold his title. He's not giving in to anyone. Really nice Bone Giant play and nice management of the late game as well, just to confirm victory. Cool, so we do have the next challenger. F-Pod, if you would like to find the lobby and join it. If you are struggling to find it, let me know and we'll get you in touch with Poison Ducky so he can send you an invite. Which map should we switch to now? Oh, F-Pod is in! Yes, nice and quick this time. Yo. Have a quick look at chat. The missile attacks must be buffed now. Cool, Warden. Catch you later, man. Hope you are back soon. Catch you later, Weist, as well. I see you as well, man. And, oh, is that Consul of Rome I spy in the chat? Is he warming up his chops? Cool, so we're going to be playing on Alpine Ridge next, and we'll let them do their pick and ban while I fix the scoreboard. So Poison Ducky, undefeated so far, up to the 2 there. And let's get our image back as well. Boom. There we go. Let's go back in the game. Sweet, sweet. So after F-Pod, we do have a Logic. So Logic, if you're in the chat, start getting ready, my friend, as you'll be afterwards. But who will you be up against? So that is the question. Yo, Croissant! Hero! How's it going, man? You can hop in after this what you want. So it's, oh, the game's crashed again. What are you doing, game? Oh, Total War's been an absolute mess recently. They need to sort this out. We will hop back in as a spectator, though, so just going to reboot. So it's going to be Logic after this, Croissant, and then you can be the challenger afterwards if you want. Which should be pretty cool. Looks like it's loading back up fine, which is good. Occasionally, when it completely goes, it won't let you load up Total War, but... is there any news as well on their multiplayer sorting out quick battles and so forth? I've been a little out of the loop in recent times, unfortunately. So we've been going for about an hour so far, so probably going to go for another hour as well, take us up to about 9 o'clock when we hop on. Cool, so we're back on Total War. Let's see if we can find the lobby. Well, this is happening in between battles, so it's not so bad. I think once you're in a battle, it's pretty hard to be dropped. Yeah, it looks like they were talking about crashing since patches. I think people really struggle with Spectate and Spectator mode in general. Like, I tried hosting one earlier and people just can't find it. There's loads of problems at the moment with Total War, but I know they're on the case. CA are really good at kind of talking to their community and whatnot and getting that all sorted. Cool. You can turn off the stream. Yeah, that's fine. You can always pick back afterwards. I pick Chaos, ban Vampire counts. Cool. Definitely a good idea to ban Vampire counts if you are Chaos. That is a really hard one. And F-Pod is going Lizardmen. Oh, we're on Vanilla, bro. Yeah, standard. Cool. So after this, we are going to have the challenger of Logic and then Croissant. And then, if Consular Rome fancies it, I can see him in chat. If he fancies coming out and challenging, I'll happily let him pop in. And maybe, you never know, maybe myself, I will turn up as well. Cool. So we may have a crash game by the looks of it. It seems to crash when a new player joins. But it luckily takes like 1 minute to kind of load up and they can pick their armies in the meantime and stuff. So thank you for bearing with us. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. If you have just joined the chat or the stream recently, please do leave a big thumbs up if you're enjoying what you're seeing. We are here in Game 3 of Poison Ducky, holding the crown high above his head. Undefeated so far. Doing a very good job indeed. But you, yourself, can come claim the throne if you fancy it. Let me know in chat and we'll add you to the queue. There's currently 2 contenders lining up behind F-Pod here. And yeah, if you don't know my channel, we do multiplayer battles, campaigns, tournaments, general awesome content. You get to hang out with me. What more could you want? So if you're into that type of thing, feel free to subscribe as well. And either Patreon, all the standard YouTube stuff. It can all be found in the descriptions. You guys know what's up. You all know. I'm really interested to see if anyone will take down Poison Ducky. He's really impressed me. I know he's a very good player anyway. And he has a YouTube channel as well. You guys should definitely go check out after this. I'll try and remember as well to leave one in the comments underneath. But if anyone could leave a link to his channel in the chat, that'd be really useful as well. But yeah, definitely check him out. Lizardmen Chaos, I love this matchup for Lizardmen. I'm not going to lie. I think it's really strong for the Dino Boys. You can go real dirty and take a load of Temple Guard and a few big dinosaurs, protect the big dinosaurs with Temple Guard against halberds and so forth, and the big dinosaurs just tear, especially have Lord Croak as well floating around, up to no good. But I've seen Chaos players, very good Chaos players, pick that apart as well, using Hell Cannons and so forth, and then picking apart with Marauder Horse Masters and whatnot. So it's definitely beatable. It's not a completely one-sided affair, but I think it does favour the Lizardmen. But as we've seen before already, Poison Ducky, very good player. So you should do fine. Cool. Cool. Just checking chat. If you guys got any questions, now is the time to ask in between games in our downtime. And let's see. Cool, F-Pod is ready, just waiting on Poison Ducky. But as I said more times, this isn't too serious, there's no money on the line or any of that type of stuff. It's all for good fun, so it's completely chilled atmosphere and all that. There's no rush on players, time limits, any of that stuff. And if you are new to the game and you want to play, completely feel free to hop in. There is really no pressure on skill level. We've had people ready today. Stormrunner saying that he hasn't played too much multiplayer before, coming in and giving Poison Ducky a fantastic game. So feel free, if you're experienced, new, hop in and play. It is all good fun. Or just chat, either one. And watch and stalk people. So it looks like Poison Ducky is ready. Cool. When we get into the loading screen, I will take down the blocker. Alpine Ridge, big map favourite of mine. I tend to leave it to the end. Oh, okay, let's go here and take down that image. Oh, why are you moving now? Okay, that looks like it's fine. Cool, thank God. Oh, screen went black. I was like, please no. But it's loaded up the game quite nicely. So, Alpine Ridge, classic map. This map was first made on Rome Total War, the very first Total War game. It looked very, very different then. It was a ridiculous hill, to be honest. But we have this massive hill in the middle, which obviously stops your vision on the opponent's army, so you can do some very sneaky deployment and funny battle lines and so forth. But at the same time, there's hills around the outsides, trees around the outside, so you can do a lot of sneakiness, especially on this right-hand flank, but of course your opponent will recognise that. And often it becomes, do you rush the hill, or do you just chill at the back, shoot your opponent from afar, and force them to come down the hill, and then their high ground means nothing. It's over, Anakin, I have the high ground. That's what I would be screaming if I am up there. So let's have a little look at F-Pod's army, and I really like the look of it so far. We have 1, 2, 3 units of Temple Guard in the front line, backed up by 1, 2, 3 units of Red-Crested Skinks, including the cohort of Sotek, who have a very cool ability. Come down here where you can check it out. Refuse to die. Entities cannot die. So they will take damage, but they will not lose models, which is actually really, really good, making them a very sticky unit. In the back here, we have 1 unit of Cold One Riders. Looks like just the standard variety, not the spear unit. We have a cheeky little Vanguard here, just outside the deployment zone, being a little cheeky. We have 2 units of Chameleon Skinks, one of my favourite skirmish units in the entire game. Poison, they slow you down, you can't catch them, they have nice missile resistance, a big old fat pain. We have a Feral Bastildon and a Saurus Scarvetch on a Carnosaur, being 2 little bodyguards for Lord Mazdamundi. Someone I don't see too often in multiplayer, so nice to have a little look at him. He's brought the Ruination of Cities, of course, his famous spell Banishment. Also Shield of the Old Ones, Apotheosis for nice healing, which is good on those big dinosaurs, and Temple Guard, and Net of Amantok. Now let's have a little look at the Chaos build. So we can see F-Pod being very sneaky here, or Poison Ducky, sorry. Being very sneaky and deploying 2 units of Chaos Warhounds with Poison in the trees here, vanguarded. So that'd be very, very sneaky. Get into the back line, be able to hunt down Skinks and so forth. In the front line, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 units of Chaos Warriors of Hellbirds. I think this is the way to go. Either go with Hellbirds or Chosen with Hellbirds. To really, they can do decent work against Temple Guard and very good against the big dinosaurs. We have 2 units of Chaos Marauders and 1 unit of Chosen with Hellbirds in the back. These guys could be very key. They're going to be needed to take down those big dinos and put up a fight against Temple Guard. He's gone some big monsters of his own, though, really looking to go fisticuffs here. We have Kolek Suneater with all his buffs, as well as a Dragon Ogre Shagoth as escort. We also have Chaos Sorcerer of Fire coming in. Ooh, not the standard pick we've been seeing today, but we have Cascading Fire Cloak, which has been quite nice, and Piercing Bolts of Burning. Very unusual pick. I haven't seen that much in multiplayer at all, but should be good. So, ready when Rubber Duck is cool. And we'll get this started. Quick look at chat before they get going. Oh, looks like we're all good there. And the battle's underway. Let's see who tries to take the hill. It looks like the Lizardmen instantly pushing up, and Kel's going to be doing the same. This is going to be a real blood and thunder affair. Now, those Warhounds on the flanks could be really nice once these Chameleon Skinks have been pushed back, if they can lap around, because I'm assuming they're going to be falling back behind the main line once, you know, the Chaos Warriors get a little bit too close. But they are going to get the first sightings. In fact, they have decided to fall back, though. Got a little peek at the Chaos Warriors and thought, nope, not having any of that. We're going to let the Temple Guard and Red Crested Skinks take the hill first. Now, something Poison Ducky has to be really careful with, or F-Pod, sorry, I keep getting these guys mixed up, is the Red Crested Skinks are a lot faster than the Temple Guard, and you don't want those guys engaging alone. So it looks like the Chaos Warhounds have kind of sprung their trap already, trying to force their way into the back, revealing themselves, but at the same time, Chameleon Skinks don't really have anywhere to go, and F-Pod's going to have to be very careful of those guys. Cold One Riders instantly recognising the threat. They'll be hopping on top of these Chaos Warhounds, and they will demolish them. Chaos Warhounds need to be careful. Are they going to be able to juke? Yes, just in time. Looks like one or two might go down, but they have managed to escape for the most part. Scar Veteran scaring off the other units. But Chaos is going to have to be fighting uphill. The Lizardmen took the advantage slightly quicker. They've got the high ground, and they're going to be forcing their way down. That downhill charge is going to be very nice. Temple Guard will mulch through Chaos Marauders, and it's going to be a very good fight against Chaos Warriors Halberd. The Temple Guard, a bit more elite, should do a decent job. And the big old Gary Feral Basirodon popping in as well. Looks like there's some big monsters coming over to party. We do have a shield of the old ones coming down as well. We're going to help these Temple Guard against the Chaos Warriors, and those Red Crested Skinks as well. A Ruination of Cities coming down. Looks like it didn't hit too much. It did cut across these Chaos Warriors, also doing some damage to the Temple Guard. So, not a bad cast, but nothing too fantastic there. And Gary is unfortunately getting the crap beat out of him. Mazdamini does respond, though. His favourite pet is under threat. And he drops a banishment, doing some real nice damage to Chaos Warriors and helping soak up these Chaos Warriors with halberds as well. So, overall, pretty close fight so far. Warhound's going to be getting some nice rear attacks into the Temple Guard, trying to help out this beleaguered front line. Looks like the Lizardmen may be able to just slowly grind their way through this front line. Nice spells by both people so far. Searing Bolt coming down, doing some decent damage to the Saurus Scar Veteran, who is outnumbered here. Dragon Ogre Shagoff plus Kolek can really do a number on that guy. And they're going to struggle to deal with these big monsters. Temple Guard are going to be massively needed here to protect Lord Mazdamundi, as these guys can just hunt him down. He's a very slow toad here. Looks like Gary has been shattered as well, which is very sad. But apart from that, across the front line, we do have Skinks doing a very decent job against Chaos Warriors. All along the front line, Chaos Warriors are starting to struggle with some very healthy Temple Guard as well, mixed in there with some more beat-up troops. Nice Nev Amentok coming down, pinning Kolek and this Dragon Ogre Shagoff, allowing these Chameleon Skinks just to laugh in their face and do some 360 no-scopes with their darts as well. Which should, not going to do a huge amount of damage, but it should do some decent damage. And the most important thing is allowing Lord Mazdamundi just to skirt his way around here and try and escape. So it looks like for the main battle, apart from this central pocket, held here by the chosen, much more elite troops and these big, nasty single entities. The rest of the battle was won by Lizardmen, and with a shield of the old ones go down as Temple Guard do charge in. With another healthy unit of Temple Guard, going to do some really good damage to these Dragon Ogres. But a nice Searing Bolt's coming down. Been really I underestimated that spell. It's done some decent damage so far. Mazdamundi skirting around though, and it looks like he's very heavily protected by his Saurus Scar Vet. He just needs these Temple Guards to deal with these big entities, and they're getting helped by their little brothers here, the Chameleon Skinks, who'll be poisoning these guys, slowing them down, making them a little bit weaker overall. So the big entities, realising they're in a losing situation here, just going to try and fall back and use magic to deal with these Temple Guard. A nice spell come down there by Kolek himself, doing some decent damage and allow these Chosen to really mulch their way through. This is really on a knife's edge, a very, very tactical game by both players. Poison Ducky bringing in these big guys, chasing down Mazdamundi. He needs help over here now. Saurus Scar Veteran looks like he's going to finish off the Chaos Sorcerer of Fire. Could be a very good pick, but he needs to get over and help out the Lord himself, who looks like has had to sacrifice some cold runs. F-Pod chucking those guys in just to pin in these big entities, give Mazdamundi a little bit more time. Now these Chosen could be very key to taking down the Saurus Scar Veteran and so forth, but unfortunately they're just so up against it here. So many Temple Guard, they're trading effectively, 69 kills, but there's so many bodies here. But Kolek seems to have seen this and he's coming over. If he can crush this section of the Lizardmen, they could do really good. Saurus Scar Veteran chasing off a Sorcerer over here, Mazdamundi left unprotected. The Chameleon Skinks have been spotted. They've got only 7 kills and 4 kills between them, but they've been doing that constant damage, constant poison to these Dragon Ogres, doing really good work. Kolek in the fight of his life here up against Temple Guard, who are kind of designed to kill him, but they're very beat up and he is very healthy, and he is the king of Dragon Ogre Shagoffs, their almighty Thunderlord, and he's just slapping them around where he can. Saw a Scar Veteran coming in to have a word. If he can get in over here, he could really do some serious damage to Kolek. But over on this other side, Dragon Ogre Shagoff has found a home on Lord Mazdamundi. He's been slowed down by the poison darts, however, allowing Mazdamundi just to skirt away in the world's slowest chase, and this Dragon Ogre is slowly going to get dragged down here. Big banishment going on, some Chaos Warriors trying to stop them from coming back, but a big Thunderstrike just sneaking in before that Shield of the Old Ones, getting some really nice damage on the Temple Guard. Now in this situation, I would just pull Kolek out, as you can see Poison Ducky is doing here. No need to fight them whilst this shield is up, as it's just a bit of a losing battle. Looks like Power Balance is going in favour of the Lizard Men here, but if Kolek and this Dragon Ogre Shagoff could take down the Saurus Scar Veteran, I think they could be in a fairly strong situation, as the Chameleon Skinks do start to run low on ammo. Saurus Scarvet popped Deadly Onslaught, popped Apotheosis and Foe Seeker, fighting Kolek, who looks like his buffs have just run out, but he's a very deadly opponent here, getting some really nice slaps onto the Saurus Scarvet. Temple Guard looks like have actually finally been broken off. We had some returning Chaos Warriors managed to swing the tide. Where are the Chosen? It looks like they have themselves been broken off, but 87 kills against elite troops. Very well played. Mazdamundi getting in there, getting his hands dirty, aiding his Saurus Scar Veteran whilst the poison is active, getting some decent shots, and this could be the end for Kolek and Poison Ducky's reign. He gave us a fantastic go. Super close battle there, up against it as well, with Chaos really struggling against Lizardmen. But that is the end of an era. Poison Ducky, my ducky brother, unfortunately has been pulled down. What a game though. Really close. Nice work there. Temple Guard just held the line long enough. Some really nice play as well, keeping Mazdamundi out of the way. They managed to drag down those big entities and swing it in favour of F-Pod and the Lizardmen. So, I've seen Console has sent me a message. Unfortunately, my friend, there is a little bit of a queue. So we have Logic and then Croissant joining. So if those guys are ready, I will let them know. But afterwards, if you're a free Console, I am more than happy to have you involved. Yay! Warden, you're back. What's up, man? Hope you're all good. So F-Pod has claimed the title. Let's change the map. Is it Tower of Horeth? Trying to think of tournament maps off the top of my head now. And we are now waiting on Logic. Hopefully I do not crash again between games, but if we do, we can just pop back on. Where's Logic on my friends list? Logic. Oh, just sent a message letting him know he is up. So Tavhav, very cool map, nice balanced map. I'm just trying to remember tournament maps off the top of my head, and we'll simply wait for Logic now. So let us, while I think about it, pop the image back up and change the scorecards. Unfortunately, Poison Ducky, yeah, it was an honour, my friend, but you have unfortunately gone down. Let's change that to a 1. We're going to have Logic, the challenger. And F-Pod, the new king. Can he hold his crown as long as Poison Ducky did? Got 2 games in a row. That is pretty damn good. So let's take that off to the side. And pop in. Cool. So if you are listening to Logic, the password is 123, and it's just called A Rubber Duck On For War. Party is full. It should not be. Try again. You might have tried joining when what's his face was in. So we'll let those guys sort that out quickly. Yeah, you, David the White Lizard. How's it going, my dude? Good to see you as always. We're currently doing a King of the Hill. So we had Poison Ducky, who managed to win 2 games back-to-back. He's the, unfortunately, recently deceased king. He's just been overthrown by FPod, but he does hold the title for most wins in a row so far, with 2 very solid games. A super close second game, but so good. I highly recommend, when this is all finished, coming back and rewatching it. Does David's friend code? I'll make sure they both have each other on Discord. Party is full. Okay. I can't see, because obviously I'm in spectator mode, if this is available. Good 2 minutes, see if Logic can hop in. If you can't, we'll just rehost on FPod and go from there. Oh, mate, you missed some fantastic Chaos games, bro. That really sucks. You just had a Chaos game. Before that, we had a Chaos game as well. So you've just missed 2, unfortunately. Cool. So I'm going to repost on... Yeah. Cool. So I'm just going to rehost and go from there. We should be all good. It's good to see at least a few people now playing back on multiplayer. It kind of got destroyed for such a long time because all the quick battles and stuff have been taken down. Yeah, we literally just had to... I just got back from work. Well, now you can chill out, man, and enjoy the carnage. We should be pretty good. We're still going to be going for about another 45 minutes yet, so we're going to be trying to get in Croissant next. He's the next challenger, and then afterwards, hopefully Consul of Rome if he's about. How did the matchups go chaos-wise? Just came in as well. Darth sends their regards. Hey, Darth sends his regards. What's up, man? You just come from his stream. So let's pop out and refresh the list. Why can't I find it? Cool. I'm just going to have to do the old classic add on Steam. Why is Total War being so difficult recently? Cool, FPod's just sent me a Steam code. Cool, just going to add him on Steam. Bear with, guys. Cool, and then he can just send us invites. So Logic, if you're listening, try and add FPod on Steam. I'll send you the link in Discord. That's his account. Fortunately, if you two guys can't join, we will have to move on to the next people. So unfortunately, it is not shown. So has Darth just finished streaming them? And welcome as well. I'm not sure if I've seen you on my channel before, man. So welcome, welcome. We do all things Total War. And I know there's a big tournament as well coming up with so H1 Sun as well. that was been on, so I don't know if that's finished yet and if that's been over or how's it going. Friends, view friends list. Are we friends yet? Do you have him on Discord? Yep. Cool. He's just accepted, so we should get it cracking. But there is no rush. We've still got a couple of people left to come after this. Oh, Rubber Ducky has now appeared. Hey, I'm in at least. Okay, we just need to get Logic in. Let's go Discord. Cool. This is the perfect time to ask any questions if you got any. Yeah, Duncan, you can have a game as well. Oh, that's really cool of him. I haven't actually played Darth or anything, so that's really cool. This came so saw Darth up a YouTube note recommending your stream and channel. That's really super dope of him. I'll have to like send him a message and send him a thank you. Thank you for letting me know that. Yay! We're all in. Picks and bands. And we're on Tower of Hoeth. Sorry about the delays between games, but you know, it's good to see so many people tune out. We've got 16 people here. That's near a high, man. That is near a high. I think we've had like 20. We had a load of like Russian people join a stream once and they didn't have any idea what the game was, and Falcon was trying to translate between the two, between me and these people, and they had no idea what Total War was. It was on one of the big tournament streams, but still, it was good fun. It was really good fun. I have to get him back actually on the channel soon, back in the tournament scene now that we're getting back into tournaments. So let's see what they have picked and banned. You pick first, F-Board. Cool. Let him know that he picks first, as he's the king! The current king of the hill. So, after Logic, let me just get my notepad. We have Croissant up after that, then either Consul of Rome, if he can make it, because he did send me a message, but I'm not sure if he has time restraints. And if he can't get it, after that we'll have Duncan up, or we'll have Duncan up to finish the stream off afterwards anyway. Cool. Just chuck that all down there. Cool, I'm picking Skaven and banning Norska. Cool, I will go Lizards. Dope, dope. Make sure we have the screen blocker up. Looks like we do. So can F-Pod hold on to his title, or can the Pretender Logic, or prove that F-Pod's a Pretender and actually claim his rightful seat on the throne? I like this matchup for the Skaven personally. Bear in mind, Logic is actually my housemate, so he's a relatively new player. I've been teaching him the basics, and he's been slowly getting on streams and playing games and so forth, and he's improved a huge amount since we first started playing, but he is still a relatively new player, which sometimes really pits more experienced players off, because they bring wild builds of stuff you don't expect. As we've seen from today's stream, there's been some crazy builds and units I haven't seen in such a long time, and they've been used to really good effect, which is nice to see. That's why I love doing these type of things rather than just playing games myself. So Logic then Croissant, then either Consul or Duncan. And if Consul wants to step in, he can. And if not, then we'll have Duncan, or we'll end the stream with him himself. Rats versus Lizards. Yes, this is some full-on rock and roll. This is a grudge match to the fullest. I demand Tehenna win. I demand it. Lots of skinks. What do I do in this matchup myself? As Skaven, I love Giselles in this matchup and Warp Lightning Cannons. They destroy big dinos super easily, super comfortably. You chuck chaff at the opponent to slow him down, and you just gun down their warriors. However, you can really struggle in that type of build up against Saurus heavy builds and so forth, or skink rushes. And if I'm a Lizardman player myself, I'm definitely going for a mixture of Saurus warriors and skinks in the front line. Maybe the Umbral Tide as well for that sneaky anti-large fire damage, very good against Hell Pit Abominations and so forth, and they can't be sniped out because of their sneakiness. But bringing big dinos can work really well because you can tear out your enemy if they're not expecting them, but it's such a risk with Warp Lightning Cannons, Giselles, and all the stuff we just spoke about. But I did play a couple of games against Shadow Online Gaming, quite big in the YouTube scene over here at Warhammer, and I did a best of 3 against him, and we matched up his Skaven versus my Lizardmen, and it was a really fun game. So we got a best of 3 over on his channel. If you want to go check that out at any point, say hello from me if you do. And yeah, he's a super nice guy as well. I'm sure most of you people, if you're watching my videos, probably have at least, heard of him before. Well, looks like someone is ready. Cool, looks like F-Pod is ready, just waiting on Logic. Itik versus Tehenna, that'd be sick. Go, Logic, go! Go! Go, go, Lizards! I'm definitely a Lizardman heavily biased Lizardmen. They're my favourite faction. Itik versus Tehenna would be very cool, and I got a sneaky peek so far at F-Pod's army, and let's have a little look. I am liking it. I think it's going to be a very good build here. I can't see Logic's, but this build is something similar to what I would probably take. I think it covers all bases. It's a very well-rounded build. So if anyone is new, popping in, I know we've been streaming for a little while, we're doing a King of the Hill. F-Pod is the current king. He's trying to overthrow the high score set by Poison Ducky. He got 2 wins back-to-back. F-Pod has managed to claim that throne and is now trying to keep his title. And we still have a couple, at least 2 more people after this, and possibly 3. And hopefully no crash. Fingers crossed. We've had a crash like after every single game so far, and this one seems to be holding strong. I'm not sure what it is. It's just since the latest patch, I think, the game has been a bit buggy. But I'm sure they're on the case. But obviously it's been Christmas and New Year's and stuff, so it's a bit hard to fix things over that time. I'll just let them know not to wear me. Cool, looks like they're good to go. Right, think about it. Let's get rid of that image. Boop. And here we go, Tower of Hoeth. Very open map for half of it. Very big flat open plain. But on the right hand flank, as you can see, there is a ton of trees, which you can be very, very sneaky in. So if you know your opponent is someone like Skaven and going to be bringing lots of guns, you simply pop in here, march down this line, and then sneak out and attack them. It takes them off this hill, but at the same time, if I'm a Skaven player and I'm being attacked here, I know my opponent's going to be trying to use these trees because they don't have much range. So instead, I'm going to deploy somewhere over here, and even if they come through the trees, they then have to trudge their way through the open plain. It does force you off the top of the hill here, but at the same time, it's still a pretty good position. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but there is a sneaky hole right in here, which is technically still in the map, and you can vanguard troops in here. I had a battle once, I think on stream. It was awesome. We had like 2 units of Illyrian Reavers come piling out of here, like late game, had been snuck up there, and got some nice rear charges and so forth. So yeah, who is your money on? Do you want Logic to take down the current king, or do you want the king to go level with Poison Ducky? I know I've mentioned this multiple times, so sorry for repeating, but just for people who have joined late. Poison Ducky did represent all ducks earlier on, and he is in fact a YouTuber, so please do go check out his channel afterwards. If he's still in chat, if he could leave a link to the description either in the comments or in the chat, that's perfect. If not, just Poison Ducky, really easy to find him. Cool. Looks like we were popping in here as the little menu popped up, but we're still loading him, which is all good. As stated before, doesn't matter how long it takes to load in, that's just kind of judged on their computers. The internet connection is nothing to do with how long this takes. And there we go, looks like we've loaded him. Cool. So let's have a little look at the Defender F-Pod and his army of little sneaky rat men. So he does have clan rats and clan rats with spearmen, dozens of them, as a main front line here. But over on the right flank, which I'm sure they won't be sticking here, he does have a regiment-renowned storm vermin, the Council Guard, who are unbreakable. The elite of the elite for Skaven, and that unbreakable is so good in a Skaven army to have a kind of a backbone, because normally you really struggle with leadership. I believe I did in fact see the regiment-renowned clan rats as well. Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers. What a name! Flaming swords, looking hella gangster over here. But, you know, that's just the cheap and cheerful part of his army. Let's see the real damage dealers. Of course, I'm talking about the Skaven Slave Slingers. 2 units of these guys, just cheap, cheerful skirmish units. But the real powerhouses, we have a Warp Lightning Cannon being protected by some Clan Rats. We also have a Big Daddy Hell Pit Abomination here. Going to be an absolute monster on the battlefield. Can really tear across Saurus and go fairly decent toe-to-toe with big dinosaurs. We also have 2 units of Rat Ogres. I love using these guys as backline protection rather than pushing forward. They're really good for countering light cav and so forth. We also have an Assassin, and he is protecting Lord Skrulk. Unfortunately, no Ittic Claw, which I think people wanted to see. But Lord Skrulk, very competitive pick. And he, of course, has the Liber Barbonicus and the Rod of Corruption. Everyone knows about those. Very good abilities. And he's protected by an Assassin. Overall, I think this is a really well-balanced list. I think this can do well. You can see by the way he's set up, he's expecting Logic to do what he's doing, but at the same time, Logic takes away the hill advantage and can stroll down the hill at him. It's going to be a bit tricky to see his army, but let's zoom in and have a little look. We have a lot of Saurus warriors. Saurus with spears, Saurus warriors all bunched up here, all chevrons up as well, making them even tankier. For his lord, he's gone for Gorok, the tankiest beast himself. Actually a very good pick in this matchup, as he can't be sniped out too easily. We have a Skink Priest of Heavens up in the sky with Wind Blast, Harmonic Convergence as well, 2 very competitive picks. We have 1, 2, 3 units of Chameleon Skinks, also a very good pick here. A bit of a wild card here. We have 2 Croxigors. It'll be interesting to see how these guys go. Really like the colour scheme on them. We have a Feral Bastillodon and also some Cold One Spear Riders in the back. So overall, very decent army, looking to hammer through the Skaven as quick as possible before those guns do too much damage. Now, will the Croxigor be able to find a home? Looks like these guys have kicked off now. Possibly, possibly not. They do a decent work against things like Rat Ogres and, of course, break this front line very quickly. But there's a lot of nasty Giselles and so forth, which will pound them down. So let's get underway. Quick little look at chat. Not very good. Did some unit testing. Got to stick with my flow Noob Hammer F-Pod. Oh, is he from Noob Hammer? Oh, yes. What do I think of Poison Wind Mortars? I actually don't mind the Regiment Renowned version. I'm a little bit of a champion for them. I think they have their moments. I don't know if they're worth it because Natty Bobu sharpshooters and so far Giselles are just so good. But at the same time, I had a fairly successful game. If you look at my channel, I think it's called Master Assassin, trying out a lot of the new units. They did very good against Waywatchers. If you can keep Waywatchers at bay, that spread damage is really good against lightly armoured foes. So as we can see, Logic is doing the slow march of the dinosaurs up through the trees, which is, you know, what he needs to do here. Looks like his Skink Priest is floating around there as well. Of course, can't be hidden because he is flying. So these guys know what's up, and they're going to be rearranging. Very nice play here by F-Pod. Instead of allowing Logic to come really close up here with the hill advantage and the trees, he's actually advanced into this open plain, keeping as much distance between him and Logic as possible. Really nice play there. I like that kind of tactical awareness. So it looks like the lizards are still moving forwards at the moment. Skink Priest just showing up in the sky. Wind Blast could do some fairly successful damage. Unfortunately for him, the targets he really wants to get rid of, like Natty Bobu sharpshooters, do have this kind of skirmish formation. So Wind Blast doesn't work so well against them as it does against, you know, Sisters of Avalon of like the highly regimented High Elves and so forth. Early shot coming in though, trying to smack that Skink Priest down. not bad at all. Decent hit. The second one hits a tree, however. And the Skaven are shooting now. They're going to be moving back with some of their forces. And Logic is slowly moving out of the trees, which is unfortunate for him. And it's going to be something he's going to have to do. Help it falling back there, not wanting to take the whole army on alone. And now we have Natty Bobo sharpshooters picking some shots. And Logic really needs to spot this, although he's fairly well protected by the trees here. And a lot of that ammo is being wasted. But oh, is that going to hit? No, hits the tree. So actually, rather sneaky play here by the Skink. Not taking much damage at all and wasting a lot of ammo. Lizards are being forced forward with a bit of urgency now that they are under threat. And they're starting to come down from the trees. He's really going to have to spread out as fast as possible. But that's the problem with Saurus Warriors, is that they're very, very slow. So he's going to come in more like a wrecking ball rather than kind of a flat, wide line, which he needs, because he needs to attack multiple areas at once, get into the back line and break down these guns and warp lightning cannon. So it looks like Skink Priest has moved forward, but has been hit by Liber Barbonicus and also been sniped out. He may not be long for this world. And it looks like a Wind Blast was coming down on some Clan Rats, but very nice play here by F-Pod, managed to pull those guys back. And the Skink Priest is paying a heavy toll here, taking some huge damage. So it looks like the Saurus are all flooding from the trees now. Chameleon Skinks really need to get up in there and do some decent work and some skirmishing. They probably could have been sent ahead of the army and got in, but it looks like he's keeping them in reserve, so we'll see what he's up to. We have Cold One Riders and Crocscore coming round to try and get a decent flank and pop on top of that Warp Lightning Cannon, but nice defensive approach being taken by F-Pod. Clan Rats with spears here. Couple of early shots coming in, probably aiming at Gary the Feral Bastildon here, but they've gone a little bit high and wide. And I mean, he hasn't taken too much damage, Logic, on the way in, apart from that priest. I say not too much damage, it looks like he is going off the battlefield, and that is huge, losing your wizard this early. But at the same time, most of his infantry is intact, and it should be able to tear through these Clan Rats fairly effectively. As we see, the Saurus Warriors are now bundling into some Clan Rats. They should do a very good job there. And the Crocscore coming in just to break these guys as quick as possible. Crocscore will mulch them. Second unit pushing forward to try and get into that back line. We do have a summoned unit of Plague Monks who do very good against these Saurus Warriors holding them down. And Gorok trying to get in there, trying to hop in, but he is getting bullied. Assassin's Trophy has been popped down, Assassin has come in, Lord Stroke's come in, Hell Pit Abomination has come in. I can see a assassination attempt here. Rival High Tasman coming as well. Gorok is getting deleted, which is disaster for the Lizardmen, who have already lost the rest of their leadership. However, across the front line, Crocscore are getting pounded a little bit here, but their Saurus are doing, they're doing their job, they're doing their work, they're churning through these Clan Rats. They haven't got to the Council Guard yet, and Gorok got overextended, wasn't supported, and unfortunately is paying the ultimate price, and there's no way he's going to be let to live. Chameleon Skinks coming from the shadows now. They can do some real nice damage on that Hell Pit, but is it a little bit too little too late? Cold One Spear Riders popping in the back here, helping break off those Clan Rats, and really going to help these Crocscore delete this side of the battlefield with the Rat Ogres, but more Rat Ogres come in for the pinch, and this is looking very good so far for the Skaven. As you see, power balance has ebbed in their favour. Gorok, though, being the tasty customer he is holding firm, popping all his buffs and not going down without a fight. Unfortunately, only 6 kills. The Assassin is going to help finish him off, and it looks like, sneaky rat he is, Lord Stroke just going to scroll away, doesn't need to engage with Gorok. No, he's not going to go fisticuffs. He's going to run over here, cast some spells, and be a general pain. So it looks like the Lizardmen desperately were trying to break in. They kind of put all their money on this right-hand flank, being able to break into this back line. But very nice defensive play by F-Pod, managing to pin these Crocscore back, keep them in place with Rat Ogres, and now the guns are going to unleash hell upon them. Looks like a very nasty spell going down on Saurus Warriors as well, but they're fine, they're back at it. Summoned unit of Clan Rats keeping them in place, and the Council Guard have managed to get on top of their perfect target, the Feral Bastildon, and they're going to drag him down very quickly. Somehow, Gorok is still alive. He's on his back here, but he is not going down without a fight. He's kept these guys very, very busy. These Chameleon Skinks really need to switch targets to the Hell Pit. They're currently firing into Clan Rats. I'm sure F-Pod isn't too fussed about. They're there to die. Unfortunately for the Lizardmen and the Logic, my precious dinos, the right-hand flank has been lost. these Skaven Slave Slingers in that constant fire, along with the Natty Bobo Sharpshooters and the Warp Lightning Cannon, have just hammered his bigger and tougher units on this right flank. And the left flank being held together by Gorok, but he has unfortunately now broken, and I can't see this assassin letting him out of his sights. I think this could be army losses and game. So unfortunately, my favourite dinos have been dragged down. It looks like the Skink Priest, though, coming in, rallying the troops, rally to me. Coming back to try and rescue. Looks like unfortunately one unit of Saurus Warriors have been left in the trees as well, which can happen when controlling such large armies. And obviously under pressure, this is Logic. It's one of his first times playing on stream. I think he's played on 2 so far, but of course, still a relatively new player, and mistakes do happen. I make mistakes like that all the time, unfortunately. But very, very well played. F-Pod keeps his throne for now, pushes off the Pretenders, wipes, his shoulder with his hand. He's not fussed. He's got schemes, and schemes outweigh dinosaurs, I am afraid. So overall, I really like this build. I think the build really helped. He managed to contain the dinosaurs with his cheap chaff, and the Rat Ogres used that kind of backliner there, being defences popping in and holding back the enemy where he could. And allowed his big guns just to do the vital damage where they needed to. As you can see, he didn't have to wipe out all the Lizardman army. A lot of it just got broken off. He just, surgically picked apart the units he really needed to that could threaten him. Sadly, had a stupid amount of lag. I didn't see any lag. At least not internet-wise. I don't know if you had game lag, unfortunately. But it seemed to run pretty good from here, which was nice. At least good for us, unfortunate for Logic. So, Croissant, if you were in the chat, please do hop in, my dude. You don't like Avalanche Monsters, the crappy and unworthy? I think, like, occasionally, I don't know. I've only used them, like, once or twice, if I'm being perfectly honest. But I quite like them. But yeah, I get what you mean. They're not 100% great. Gorok! 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 Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like the Crocodile did get pin-cushioned, unfortunately. Gorok, you mad lad. I love it. I love it. Mate, Gorok... He's a gangster, man. He's a gangster. He don't care. He survived way longer than I thought he would. But he tried his best. We've got our last samurai. We do indeed. Yo, what's up, Luca? Nice to see you, man. Let's choose a next map. Let's go for a Maxon. Is it River Maxon? Cool. So, Croissant, if you can find the lobby, just join it. Password 123. If you can't, we'll sort out getting you added on Steam. Hope you're doing good, Luca. You can't see the lobby. No. Now, I'll get you in contact with F. I'll send you FPod's Steam so he can add you and then invite you. It didn't appear for ages for me, then all of a sudden it appeared, which is weird, but there's strange stuff at foot, no doubt. That's his Steam name. Oh, looks like I've missed some people talking to me on Discord. Cool, looks like Console Rome is going to be playing after this, and then Duncan, and maybe even Ninja if we have time. We may be running short of time at this point. While I think about it, let's add FPod to 2. I've probably butchered Croissant's name there, unfortunately, but FPod could become the new true king. He's out equal with a Poison Ducky, which is very good. Yo, Ninja, just seen your message, my dude. If you're in the... I'll send you a message on here. Oh, he says he is friends with you. Cool. If we have to reopen the lobby, we can do. Scourge run enough? Yeah, it's happening. It's happening. We all know it. I can't see the lobby still. Okay. Cool, we'll see if the invite works. If it doesn't, we'll simply rehost. It's been real buggy today. But we've worked for it, and we had some really good games. It looks like Crossland has just popped on top of Total War, so you may have reset it to see if you can see the lobby. Yeah, guys, if you are new to the channel, welcome, welcome. I heard Darv send some people over. I do Total War multiplayer videos, we do live streams like this, we do tournaments, and if you want to get involved in those tournaments or have any battles put up on the channel, just get in contact with me on Discord. Super happy to see new players, experienced players, all kinds of different players. Can hop in and get involved, and feel free to subscribe, like, and all that stuff. It really does help out. And if you do want to support the channel on Patreon, I do have a Patreon account in the description. But seriously, no pressure. I'm just happy we've got so many people in today. Yay! He's in. Cool, so F-Pod will be as king, deciding who he's going to be, banning a faction, and Croissant will be counterpicking. So F-Pod, 2-0 so far. Can he take Poison Ducky's title, who also managed to go 2-0? Croissant, very good player. I've played against him multiple times. He's played in multiple tournaments of mine. Not sure if he's won one, but he's definitely got to a final before. And it should be a stern opponent. I think I'll rock Tomb Kings and band Chaos. Keep that title to a noob, Hammer. Love it. Cool. Now those guys sort that out. Is the screen blocker up? That is the question. It is not. Yeah. There we go. No sneakiness for anyone. I mean, I trust all of these guys anyway, but, I mean, it also adds a bit of surprise for you guys when I can break down the armies and you don't know what they've got. Or I'll need some to add unit caps. Yes, if any of you guys are new to the game as well, I highly recommend Noob Hammer, which you've seen kind of mentioned in chat here, and about the place in general over the stream. It's a good place for new players to learn the game. There's experienced players in there as well, helping to teach people. You can find battles and tournaments that aren't, too crazy. It's quite a steep learning curve coming into Warhammer, and I think it's a really good starting place. So I highly represent that, definitely, and I think you guys should join it if you're interested in that type of thing. Cool, so Tomb Kings versus Dark Elves. Now, Dark Elves have a lot of tools here to take out a lot of the big Tomb King constructs and so forth, and a lot of backline harass to take down you Shopties and Bone Giants. But we've seen F-Pod is a very shrewd combatant himself. I'm sure he's got a lot of tricks up his sleeve. So I'm just checking the chat on my phone. Apologies if I'm a bit slow at replying to people. But there's a slight delay, of course, on stream compared to game. That's natural just for YouTube. I haven't added one. It's just the way it is when you're streaming. And I don't have two monitors at the moment, so I'm occasionally looking at my phone, trying to answer as many questions as possible. Unfortunately, I don't think... Have we seen the Lizardmen win today? I don't know if we have. Which is quite upsetting. No, we did. Didn't we? Didn't Mazda Mundi win? Against Chaos. I think we have seen one. So I think we've seen Lizardmen win once, which as long as they've won once a stream, I'm a happy bunny. After that, anyone else can win, as long as we get that one victory with the Lizardmen. But it's been good representation of Chaos today. I've seen a lot of Chaos, which is very nice, and we've seen a bit of Tomb Kings. And I'm having a look at F-Pod's army now, and oh, it's tasty. It's tasty. I'm liking the looks of it. I've liked the looks of a lot of his armies, actually. They've been, for the most part, very well-rounded, not kind of chucking all his eggs into one basket. and being able to kind of take on all comers, which can work very well for you. It always at least gives you a fighting chance, but sometimes going for the all-out approach also works. But as I said before, I faced Croissant many times. I've beaten him a few times. He's beaten me, I think, more, probably. But he hasn't been on the channel for a while, so it's good to see him back. And after this, we will have Consular Rome and Warden Commander Duncan as well. And maybe Ninja as well if we have time, but we might be pushing on a little bit for that. Maybe a little bit. But we're doing another one of these soon. I'm trying to think what day it is today. Is it Saturday? Quite possibly. We'll probably be streaming again Tuesday. I would do Monday, but I'm out in the evening. I'm not sure what time yet, but probably Tuesday. Hopefully a tournament Wednesday. So if you guys are interested in that, of course, as I said before, just get in contact with me. And who's your money on? Do you represent F-Pod and Noob Hammer or Croissant Albert? I'm good to King Sire. I mean, good to go. I love it. I think both of these guys are actually on Noob Hammer, I believe. Cool, they get going. Once we go into the loan screen, I will get rid of the screen blocker, which I've actually remembered every time. I'm well impressed myself. Know me, we'll get to the final and I'll forget it, but cool. And here we go. Greetings, good sir. Always pleasure to meet any kind of multiplayer activity. Hello, my friends. Scourge of the West. Love the name. Very cool name. Happy to meet you as well, man. Hope you're doing all good on this fine day. And I've come to watch some carnage. Do you play much multiplayer yourself? If so, I can definitely get you in some future streams and so forth. Unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to cap the players now on this one. We've been running for quite a few hours. I think we're coming up to 2 hours, so we're probably going to push it a little bit longer, but I do need to eat at some point, unfortunately. But this is a King of the Hill. Winner stays on situation, and currently we have F-Pod, the defending king, up 2-0, which is the same level Poison Ducky managed to get to. So if he wins this, he's going to be in charge of the whole event. So let's have a little look at his army, and he has gone for a core of Nekakar warriors, which is very interesting. Also King Nekesh's Scorpion Legion as well, so fairly... I say elite, fairly elite for Tomb Kings at least, in the infantry department, and they will really fare well against Dread Spears and Dread Swords, which you'll often see because you don't think the Tomb Kings are going to go elite infantry-wise. He's also got a lot of single entities, we'll get to those in a second. We have some Skeleton Horseman Archers, looks like just the one unit for the moment. We have a Tomb Scorpion, we have Ushopti Great Bows, great utility on this unit. They're the bane of my Total War existence, I've said it multiple times, I hate them. So pesky to deal with. We have a Tomb Prince on horse, very common pick and competitive pick for that matter. We have a Bone Giant as well. We've seen these used to great effect so far today. And we also have Grand Hierophant Kartep himself, the DJ! What an absolute legend. We've been seeing lords and all kinds of craziness we don't often see. So he's going to be here shooting his bombardment spells. Should be very good against that kind of cheap Dark Elf infantry he's expecting. But do we have cheap Dark Elf infantry? Looks like we do. So for the front line here of Croissant, we have Dread Spears mixed in with a couple of units of Dread Swords just behind, which should do some decent damage. Oh, looks like we're lagging a little bit. Oh, hopefully come back. Should hopefully subside once you get going. It does tend to start a bit laggy and get better as the game goes on. We have a Feral Manticore up in the sky for a bit of backline harass, which he's definitely going to need against that Bone Giant and Ushoptis. We have 2 units of Dark Riders with repeater crossbows, which is very good. Some Cold One Knights, 2 units of Sisters of Slaughter as well, which should be pretty damn good. And Malekith up on his Cold One here. So I've received a load of messages in one go. Make sure the stream's all up. Yes, it is. Good, good. Cool. And looks like the guys are getting ready to go. Sorry for rushing that Dark Elf one there, but we can explain it further as we go along. So overall, Tomb Kings actually, I think, are favourites here in the infantry fight, which isn't something you often say. Oh. Cool. Just a guy saying good luck, making sure there was no questions. However, Croissant, very tricksy customer, and those Dark Riders can tear apart a lot of this army if left unimpeded. We do have tunes of carrying, which I think I forgot to mention on F-Pod's army here, which will be floating over top and being a real pest to any skirmishers. And the DJ himself coming in, proving to the world he's not to be trifled with and doing some decent damage off the bat. I mean, that might have been the Bone Giant for the most part, but I know 6 kills off the bat, not too bad at all. Looks like he's going to try and spread his damage out and really help his infantry win that main fight. Now, the Sisters of Slaughter are a new problem altogether. They will do a lot of work against this front line. But overall, it's going to be interesting to see. We also have the Scourge Runner Chariots hidden in the forest here. One of the new units, and considered widely by the community to be very overpowered. Unfortunately for myself, I'm trash with chariots, so I just get them killed or skirmished off the field. But we will see how they do today. We have Ferromanticore. Looks like he's just scaring off some carrion for now, allowing those Sisters of Slaughter to enter the woods unimpeded. Some nice early shots coming in on Malekith, however, from the Bone Giant. Looks like the DJ himself was trying to target the Ferromanticore, which isn't a good target. It's quite hard to hit flying units like that. The front line has got underway, and I can only really see this favouring the Nekakaran warriors. So they are damage dealers, but they will take a lot of damage in return. And of course, Dark Elves aren't to be trifled with. So the Scourge Runner Chariots have moved up into a flanking position, getting some nice rear attacks onto this Tomb Scorpion, which is doing some really great damage. And the DJ, though, is tearing apart this infantry. We do have a giant Soul Sealer coming down, though. Very well played. Nice pick there. But it looks like, for the most part, the Tomb Kings are managing to hold the front line. But what is this? Salacious Harvesters, who were kept in deep reserve. They evaded myself, and also F-Pod there. Nice rear attack, really helping these Bleak Swords out. It looks like they're going to tear apart the Kepper Guard now as this battle goes on. But across the battlefield, it looks like Dark Elves are starting to falter in the main front line. But there's been this big flank here, and the sneaky Sisters of Slaughter with Malekith have managed to pop in the back and started to hunt down these Ushopti. Now, if they turn them into Rampage, this is disaster for the Ushopti, as they will stand and fight. But they do have some assistance with King Nakesh's Scorpion Legion and the Grand Master here himself going to be dropping some spells down on them. And Malekith may have overextended himself, but dropping some nice attacks down on those Tomb Prince and tanking him very quickly. Some really good play there. So we do have a Vortex spell coming down as well, dealing with these Sisters of Slaughter. But great play once again by Crosson, picking the fights where he can. The Ferromanticore pops in, and he's going to get this Tomb Scorpion out of the battlefield, which is going to be huge and allow a lot of these rallying troops to come back. But disaster! Crosson has forgotten 2 healthy units of Dark Riders at the back here, and a unit of Cold One Knights. He really needs to bring those guys into the fray. They could be pivotal in this battle. It looks like Power of Balance is going in his favour, even without them being used. But bring them, please bring them. It pains me when I see this, but it's something I have done as well. It looks like one unit did over-chase over here, and in fact it's not kind of paid off, as the Bleak Swords will simply return to the fray. But the Dark Elves are just overrunning the Tomb Kings at this point. Early on, I thought the Tomb Kings were in a really good situation, but as battle's gone on, Malekith has really managed to do a number in this back line. He's taken down the King Nakesh's Scorpion Legion with the help of Sisters of Slaughter. He took down that Tomb Prince, and it looks like the Dark Elves, without using 3 pretty expensive and decent units, are overrunning these Tomb Kings, and it looks like we're going to have a new king. So we do have a bit of lag, unfortunately, but nothing too bad. And it looks like the Nekara Warriors are fighting, tooth and nail against Bleak Swords, and they've still paid a heavy toll on this Dark Elf infantry, but a lot of it is just rallying because the power balance is so heavy in their favour. Unfortunately, for the DJ Master himself, Mr. Razkaz here, the Grand Kutep, he's currently fighting a Feral Manticore, which is not a good fight for him at all. He will get demolished, but some nice 360 no-scops coming in from the Bone Giant. Up to 41 kills, done decent work overall. Not a bad showing by him. He does have the anti-large bolts coming in now as well from the Scourge Runner. Actually charging into combat just to stop him shooting. And F-Pod is desperately trying to save his lord here. Carrion coming in, one lone Carrion trying to take on a Manticore. He's trying to flee, and he's got one unit over here which may be able to come to his aid, but the rest of his army is falling apart. And has Croissant realised? He still hasn't realised. I want to say something, but I can't. Oh, it looks like Ninja is also spectating as well in the lobby. Probably trying to find out when his next game is. So, Ferromanticore hunting down Grand Concept. Not too much he can do about it, unfortunately. He has summoned some new Ushopti, which helped rescue these Ushopti Great Bows in the back and scare off some Sisters of Slaughter. But as soon as they go over here to bodyguard him, he's just going to pull his army apart and charge back on top of these Ushopti. And this could look like kind of game losses. Wherever we see, Dark Elves are just converging on these key locations and dragging troops down. Now, if he had remembered these units, this battle would probably be over by now, but it is giving F-Pod a fighting chance. He's still got a couple of tools at his disposal. He has the Bone Giant, a relatively healthy lord with a lot of ammo left, and he's picking off the Slash's Harvesters with some carrion. He's also got one very healthy unit of warriors here, which could probably deal, maybe help out the Bone Giant at least, deal with these units here. Unfortunately, he just doesn't have enough to protect all these key elements. He can't protect the Bone Giant, plus the Shopti, plus his Lord, and Croissant doing his work here, and, you know, not taking his foot off the gas, hunting down these units, and finishing them off wherever he can. Big rear attack here, going into the Grand Master himself, and the Bone Giant desperately trying to get over and help Malekith, not to be trifled with, and he's slowly going to drag that guy down. And here comes the cavalry, the late Rohirrim charge, popping in here just to help tide things over and kind of finish this off. But still very healthy Bone Giant, who is actually beating the snot out of that Feral Manticore, and it looks like he's going to break him off, unfortunately at the cost of losing his Lord. We've got some Dark Rider shots coming in as well, finish him off, and I'm afraid that is going to be army losses and game. So we have a new king, and that is Croissant. So no one's been able to go over the 2-game unbeaten streak as of yet. Bone Giant, unfortunately, now is just going to disintegrate. He's slowly going down there, and that is going to be game. So very, very well played to Croissant Talbert there. After, you know, he took a little bit of damage on the way in, forgot his cavalry for 90% of the game, but still with some fantastic micro, keeping that pressure up, which was so key. Forcing F-Pod to try and defend multiple locations at once, and he just couldn't defend the Giant, plus the Shopti, plus his Lord, and eventually it got picked apart. So very good play overall. Lol, that flex with the Dark Riders. Very nice play. So Croissant is going to stay in, and I believe it is Consul of Rome next, followed by Warden. Oh, have we crashed? Oh god, we've crashed. Okay, no worries, we will simply load up the game again. When people, it seems to be when people leave and join, it likes to crash. But we've gone over this a few times, we'll just pop up. And Consul of Rome, if you are listening, my friend, please do, I think you're friends with Croissant anyway, just hop on and hop in the lobby, and I will be there momentarily. Have a little quick look at chat. Yes, I played Total War series since 2008, I believe. Oh, nice, man, so you're a long-term player. You played against me a couple of times in QB, just under different names. Oh, sneaky. Do I want to know if you beat me or not, or is it very embarrassing for me? While this is loading back in, I'm going to change the scoreboards. So Croissant is up to 1. And I believe we have Consul of Rome come in. Which is, this is a bit of an OG matchup actually. These guys have played multiple times on my tournaments before. Cool. Game's back loading up. Password was 123 Consul. I was like, oh, I can't see the lobby either, unfortunately. I just need to message Croissant to send me an invite. I just need to respond to Ninja. Shows that the lobby is still full. We'll rehost. Cool. Sorry about this. Just hopping across multiple different platforms talking to people. Cool. So we'll be starting up that lobby. Unless it pops up here in the meantime. So if you guys have any questions, anything at all, feel free to chat, as now is the perfect time. The prince didn't like his company and left. Sorry, my friend. Good for the noob still reigns. Yes, I missed what happened to the Tomb Prince. He got slaughtered by Malekith, I'm afraid. Malekith picked him apart, dropped a Soul Seer on him, I believe, and just tanked him. Which is a bit unfortunate for you, because he could have been huge in the late game. Cool. See my messages. Cool. Just wait for Croissant to rehost. Oh, can't see it at the moment. Could you send me an invite? I'm in the same situation as you, unfortunately, console. Cool. Apologies for the little wait between games. Oh, looks like I have a new friend request. Hey, Scourge of the West. What's somebody would accept? Hey, okay, I can see the lobby now. What map should we do is the question. Whoop, back. Hey, looks like we're both in. We've got Croissant and Console in. Yes! We're back at it. I'm so happy. How do I like Malice? I think he's the most competitive Dark Elf pick. Him and Marathi. I like... Oh, wait, no. Sorry. I've completely misread that and stumbled over it as well. Malice Darkblade, not Malekith, I was saying enough. I think he's the third most competitive pick for Dark Elves, I think. I actually really enjoy him. I think he's super fun, but that might just be because I'm super new. Cool. I will just add up the blocker. Boop. There we go. So it looks like we're going to have Croissant representing the Bretonnians, which is a faction I know he's a big fan of, up against the High Elves. These two have faced many a time on my channel in many different tournaments as well, so it's actually really cool to see this. Let's let him know to switch maps to Battleitzer. And we'll be good to go. So who's your money on? Do you think Croissant? Have I... yeah, I have changed the scoreboard, haven't I? Yes, I have. Croissant can hold on to his title and defeat Consul Rome, or will Consul Rome snatch it from underneath him? Cool, and we're on Battleitzer as well, so it looks like we're good to go. Just let those guys sit back, relax, and pick their armies. What's my favourite lord? Lore-wise or game-wise? Nika Warriors are too risky. Also, they trade decent against chaff. Yeah, I see what you mean. Like, they did a good job, and they got rid of the chaff, but they then struggled against everything else. And the chaff just returned. They didn't have enough to chase. So all the Dread Spears and whatnot ended up just coming back to kind of haunt them, unfortunately. But still very well played. An F-Pod as well. An absolute true gangster. Holding his title for two games in a row. Very impressive. Considering he equaled what Poison Ducky did. The Law of Light is a very nice synergy of Nekar Warriors. Is that because of Oh, mine's gone blank. Brennan's Time Warp. Dropping that on them and just turn them into absolute lawnmowers. That'd be good. Game-wise. Like, as in, like, lore-wise? So I think... That's so tough. I love Lizardmen, personally. I actually really like Krotgar. I'm not saying he's the most competitive pick, but I think he catches a lot of people off guard. And Hand of the Gods is so goddamn powerful. If the enemy has a mage, like on a Pegasus, or just flying around you on a Pterodon, whatever, you can nearly one-shot it. If you just do a little bit of damage before that, it'll almost always like break off the battlefield. It's so powerful. So probably Krotgar is my favourite lord. You'll see me bring him an absolute ton. I'm not saying he's most competitive, but he's my favourite. And lore-wise... Probably, it depends on the day, honestly. Maybe even Krotgar again. He's got some great lore. Even Lord Croak, so powerful that even death is like nothing to him. But I have to think about that. I'll get back to you on that one. But I see a lot of people watching here today. If you are new to the channel, thank you. If you're enjoying what you see, please do consider subscribing. It really helps. I think I was up to... Before the stream, at least, I was up to 130 subscribers, which is pretty damn crazy. It's actually really exciting to kind of have that many subscribers and so forth. And of course, subscribing, liking, all that stuff just helps out the channel massively, and I appreciate it greatly. I'm also always happy if people want to send me replays on Discord. My name on there is just Arablaka War. I'm on all the big kind of Total War Discords. Send me replays, and I will get them up and cast them. There's no real time limit. I just kind of cast them as I go when I fancy doing casts. But I always get them up there eventually. And if you want to join in on tournaments or live streams like this in the future, let me know and I can always get you guys involved. So yes. And once again, just a heads up, said this multiple times, but Poison Ducky, who played earlier and did very good, has a YouTube channel, so please do check him out. I also highly recommend Tazoo Devil if you're a dwarf player, or just a Warhammer player in general, but he specialises in dwarves. There's a lot of statistical analysis, very good, and a rocker boss as well. He does a bit more of a breakdown than I do when I play, or when I do replays. I tend to kind of do it as I live stream, so I just commentate on the game, on what I see, and try and make it as fun and enjoyable as possible. But Rocker Boss does that as well, but he also slows down the game, breaks it down, explains different tactics, what he's thinking and what he's doing. So if you're into that type of tactical analysis, I really highly recommend going and checking him out as well. And of course, you guys know all the big guys, Darv's Plays, Turin, or there's an endless list I could give you, but you already know all those guys anyway. So let's get rid of the shot blocker. Boom. And we're back in. It's always a risk. Every time I load out, I'm like, please don't crash. Please don't crash. Battle of Itza is a special quest map, but I think it works fairly well multiplayer. I know people question that sometimes, and I heard debates about people, but I think it's a fairly fun map. Plus, look at this. Look how beautiful a map this is. We have pyramids, we have laser beams, fire, lots of trees, and you can be really sneaky and actually deploy some troops back here in the trees. And overall, there's a fairly flat ground that you can fight on with a few hills to try and take advantage of. There's also this upper range on the left-hand side, up the slope, which can allow for some real nice flank. I remember I once sat some black lions up here and obliterated downwards on my foes, getting crazy damage. That was all the way back when I first started streaming. Was that the DLC I first started streaming on? No, I made my YouTube channel on the Ittic Claw to Henowin DLC. I think that's when I started getting into YouTube. So I've been going around since then. So I've been going for quite a few months now. And I've still enjoying it, so still going to be doing it. I hope you guys are enjoying it as well. It's always nice to see new faces and familiar faces. Good is Krotgar can duel Kolak. He can duel anyone, man. Techless and Law. Techless and Law. He is cool. He is very, very cool. You would love one of my best mates as a child. Still good friends with him now. I actually watched a lot of these videos. He's a big High Elf fan. He always loves a good mage. Just, I know what happens in End Times of Techless, and my mind's like, oh, but I know I don't really consider that lore, but it's always there niggling. But anyway, let's go into Croissant's army. So it looks like he's got a little blob here of peasant bowmen, some of which have pox arrows. Peasant bowmen tend to be very cost effective in most matchups. For his main battle line, we have spearmen at arms with a couple of units, or at least one unit there, of battle pilgrims, and also Ooh, let's have a little look at these guys, the little crazed fanatics here. We have men-at-arms mixed in as well, battle pilgrims, foot squires, quite a nice varied mix there. They're going very heavy in just having a ton of cheap infantry. We have a blessed field trebuchet. Oh, bless us, almighty field trebuchet. If they are going to protect the king, they're going to aim it is going to have to be very true. And we have 2 of those, in fact, with, is it the king himself? No, Alberic up in the skies with his mighty trident. We'll have to see that in play. Has he brought it with him? He has indeed, so he can do this really cool tidal wave. However, I have seen the discourage effect it has, so minus 16 leadership, also works on friends, so it can be friendly fire. I've seen some hilarious battles where it's actually driven off a lot of Bretonnians' own troops. We also have a small cavalry corps, as you expect from the Bretonnians. We have some questing knights and the companions, which are the regiment round version, adding a bit of mobility and punch. And a damsel of life with regrowth and earthblood. Fantastic picks here by Croissant, as you know he needs to get the most value he can out of Alberic and those knights. So let's go over here and see the challenger. See the mighty Consul of Rome. He tends to like his defensive positions, I feel, so I'm expecting some artillery. As we can see, we have an Eagle Claw bolt thrower over in the back here, protected by some spearmen. Now for his front line, he's gone nice, cheap and cheerful with spearmen, and the regiment renowned version actually, so, you know, sparing no expense there. And a nice middle line here of white lines, just upping the quality a little bit. And then the further back we go, more quality. 2 units of Phoenix Guard, tough as nails. We'll be able to deal with Cav and pretty much anything the Bretonnians throw them. I really like this pick. But expect trebuchets to be coming their way. We have some archers in the back as well, 2 units. We have a Mage of Light here with a net and bonus time warp. We have a Sun Dragon up in the sky as well, just for the added punch. And who do we have for a Lord? Consul of Rome, you may have just become my favourite Total War player. We have Alif Anar up front, the Shadow King. You know what? My favourite character lore-wise? Alif Anar. There you go. What a legend. I'd like to have a fun time. Alif Anar, incredibly dark health. There's an awesome book. I have it somewhere. So I'm just looking around my room. It looks like it's written by Gav Thorpe. I can see it on my bookshelf. Really dark, fantastic book. I cannot recommend enough. Really good fun. So see how this goes. And we are underway. I'm so happy with Alif Anar. Has he brought the duplicate? But let's see if he brought Shadow Crown, Slippery. Oh, it looks like he hasn't brought the... Actually, no, it might be an ability that he always gets anyway. But a shot has launched, and it has killed 5 men-at-arms with 1 shot. There's fantastic elf value for you there. Some good old elf archery. Both players are wanting to be defensive. Both players are having a lot of range. And as you can see, field trebuchets are moving up just to get the engagement underway. We can see the Sun Dragon just going to peek forward, have a little nosy around and see what he can do. Now, he's got to be a little worried. I mean, archers, yes, they don't have the most armor pierce or anything, but enough arrows will slowly pierce those thick skin of the dragon. So it looks like the Eagle Claw bolt thrower is contemplating going toe-to-toe with the trebuchets. Now, it is much more accurate, and normally it's very good against artillery, but it has taken a bit of a pounder anyway. Luckily, all 3 around, and I'm not sure if it can take on 2 Blessed Field trebuchets. But he's going to give it a go, and I think it's possible. It's possible, and it looks like both players, though, are realising that they're going to take a lot of damage and are both moving forward with their main forces. Now, Alberic can easily defeat this Sun Dragon, but he's a bit worried. He can't go overzealous, as these archers will also, you know, maybe help turn the tide, especially if he gets netted or Brian's Time Warp gets popped on that Sun Dragon. So it looks like the High Elf's mainly gone for... He's gone fairly well balanced, but he's got decent infantry, which will carve through these peasants and men-at-arms very quickly. Is this a net coming down on top of Alberic? I think it is, and we've got some nice arch fire. Unfortunately, he did get to move originally there, so a few of those are going to be misses. But yeah, Alif Anar hiding at the back, and looks like he is actually sniping out Alberic, and that's what's done so much damage to him so far. So it's a nice play so far by Consul, not resting on his laurels though, moving up his troops. Also keeping some spearmen at the back here, just to try and deter Alberic from dropping down on Alif Anar and this Eagle Claw bolt thrower. Spearmen are advancing. They will, you know, they will hold for a long time against these Bretonnians, but they won't kill too many. It's really the white lines and these Phoenix Guard which are going to do the damage. It looks like the Sun Dragon has moved in for a nice breath attack. Ooh, just about managed to realign some of his troops croissant, but not quick enough, and nice damage coming in by the Sun Dragon, roasting 22 of those filthy peasants. but now he has to flee as Albrecht does give chase, and he has popped some healing on him, and some nice rocks lobbed in here by the Blessed Field Trebuchet on top of his Phoenix Guard. Now a play could be here to try and get the Sun Dragon to loop around and hop on top of these very undefended Trebuchets, one of them being picked apart actually by that Eagle Claw boat thrower. But at the same time he's got to be very careful of Alberic. The main engagement has gone underway. Spearmen here being assisted by a very large and angry Sun Dragon should be able to beat down men-at-arms fairly quickly, and the higher skill level of these High Elves should be able to drag down these weaker and poorer, less trained peasants. And a fantastic net coming down here. This could be crucial from Croissant, as he then does send in his Phoenix Guard, who are going to start mopping up these knights super quickly. We'll have to see if they can escape. Alberic still chasing down that dragon. He's spending a lot of time on him instead of shutting down this kind of backline annoyance, and he's taking a lot of damage in the process, but it looks like he is going to be using his trident. Awesome damage coming down there, wrecking some spearmen and doing huge damage to these Phoenix Guard, turning a pretty bad situation in, not perfect, still do a lot of damage, but into a good situation for him. I love that play. What a cast. And the Sun Dragon is also getting destroyed by Alberic. Fantastic play there. So, the frontline engagement has got underway. It's going to be a little bit of a slog, a bit of a wet noodle contest in some aspects. Phoenix Guard taking a lot of damage as well. The High Elves will slowly be able to push through, but will numbers begin to tell? The Sun Dragon is fleeing, trying to get some help from some archers and Alephanar, but Alberic, he's quick moving, he's not too fast. These Phoenix Guard are going to have to protect these archers against just some lowly spearmen, which, yes, they defeat them, but it's kind of a waste of their time when they're needed on the front line. Now, it looks like the Blessed Field Trebuchet here did unfortunately lose all of its artillery pieces. He really needs to get these peasant bowmen to the front line, but the other one is still thrown in, doing some very good damage, up to 27 kills on Phoenix Guard. Very close battle though, power balance still dead even. In the back line, we can see Bretonnians are trying to force these archers into combat, which, he's tying them up, which is very good, but they will get dragged down by the Phoenix Guard relatively quickly. Now, where has Alberic gone? It looks like he's chasing up over the hill and completely chased that Sun Dragon off. He can now swoop back and just completely take out his Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower or possibly Alephanar. As for the rest of the battle, the Bretonnians were holding it very effectively. They've allowed themselves some time for these Quest Knights to swoop down, try and do some cycle charging. They've broken the white lines of chase. They just need to try and finish off these spearmen. However, a lot of their units are running, but they should be rallying. There's not too much on this High Elf army, which is starting to falter now. That is going to be able to chase them down, really, and get into this back line. This Trebuchet is going to be fine for days. We do have a bit of a mage off here. We have the Mage of Light facing the Damsel of Life, but she's on a horse, so she's going to be rolling around and just flinging that Mage of Light around, unfortunately. Now, a big rally, though, for the High Elves is that they have beaten through this Bretonnian front line. They've got this huge pocket of strength right here, and they can slowly try and pick off these knights, which are coming and swooping in, trying to take out their archers. In the back line, good play here by Croissant, trying to get his Quest Knights in the back. But once again, good defense by Consul of Rome, defending that Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower, some spearmen, and pushing those guys off. Looks like Alephanar just got a nice 360 as well. Was that a net I heard coming down? Nope, it is a Bronus Time Warp, making it these spearmen a little bit stronger, but unfortunately, it's mainly going off on archers and basic spearmen. These Phoenix Guard do get pimped up a little bit. They may be able to come in here and pin in Alberic and do some decent damage to him. Alephanar now has had to draw his sword and fight, which he doesn't really like doing. He's a bit more of a sneaky geezer, likes to hide on the sides and get in there and do some long-range damage. Spearmen Reserve have abandoned their Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower, trying to push up and pin in these knights. If they can take them down and rescue Alephanar, maybe he still has a chance, Consul here. But backline has now been once again secured by Croissant. And we have the Mage of Light dueling the Damsel, but the Damsel has aid from these Spearmen at Arms, and I feel like this battle is slipping further and further out of the reach of Consul of Rome and his High Elves. We do have a bit of a decent fight going on here between some Foot Squires and White Lines. I wonder who wins this if left to their own devices. Looks like the White Lines have the better of the engagement at the moment, but we have some very brave Blessed Field Trebuchet crews charging in with some rallying men-at-arms to help pull those guys apart, and I feel that could be a final nail in a coffin if those guys get broken off. As you can see, Mage of Light is now going to get escorted off the field by the Damsel of Life. Consul Rome doing what he can, trying to take down Alberic and maybe turn this in his favour with some long-range firepower. He can use his Phoenix Guard to defend his ranged troops, but I don't think he has enough left. We can see the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower did get dragged off the field, and fantastic play here by Croissant using these beat-up Cav, who didn't have too much value fighting anymore, to chase off these broken units, swing that power balance more and more in his favour. As you can see, it's very, very healthy now. So as we can see, yeah, Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower running off the field. We have some archers with a little bit of ammo. Don't ever write off the Phoenix Guard, but there is only 23 of them, and oh dear, I do not like that sound. Blessed Field Trebuchet launching in up to 70 kills, and I think this is going to be game. As we see Alberic swooping over here and taking down those white lines, who in fact managed to beat off a lot of those troops which came to save the Foot Squires. Up in the high ground here with some white lines chase rallying, but they're not going to be able to get back and do much without breaking, I don't think. So, trying to make a desperate last stand here up on the hill, protecting Alephanar, getting as much value as they can from his shooting, but what's he going to shoot at? Alberic, I suppose, but I don't think he has enough ammo to actually take him out. Archers trading fire with peasant bowmen isn't going to go well for the much more expensive archers over here. And it looks like everything is waving. Army losses sets in, and Croissant holds on to his crown, pulling himself level with the two previous kings. And we've probably got one game left in us here. Can Warden overthrow Croissant, or will Croissant be the one true king of all Total War Warhammer? Because that's where it's decided. It's definitely on this channel. So overall, I quite like the build here by Croissant. Really got some value from one of those trebuchets. The other one did struggle up against the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower. By going with two, it forced the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower to try and trade with them, but it needed to be shooting other targets as well. Great management of Alberic here, who just swooped around, picked on the targets, healed when necessary, didn't go balls deep and go on a suicide kind of samurai charge. Just picked off units where he could. And I think the key element here, or the key moment, was there was some fantastic play, if I can get my words out there, by Consul to net in those two knights, get Phoenix Guard on them, but what a response by Croissant. Alberic coming with that trident, wiping out those units and winning the game. So yeah, very good play by both players. So if you ask it in the chat, Commander Duncan, or Warden Duncan, if you would like to hop in the lobby, if it's not there, let me know and we'll do the usual, add you on Steam and get you involved. Which should be good. And I'm afraid that's probably going to have to be our final battle. We were trying to get Ninja in as well, but I don't know if I'm going to have time. We've been going for, I think, nearly 2.5 hours and my voice is nearly gone, as you can probably hear. Cool, just going to quickly look through chat while we're getting these guys going. My favourite is Claw and Archeon. Two very cool characters. David the White Lizard. I respect that 100%. I don't know Anna Law, but he's good lord on the battle. And if Alephanar Law is so good. It's really cool. After books about Sundering. Yes, Scourge of the West. I believe that is the book I'm talking about. Hang on a sec. It's called Shadow King by Gav Thorpe. I recommend it to everyone. It's awesome. Archers with light armor, just a waste of money. Yeah, they can do decent damage, consistent damage to peasants and so forth, but they trade badly against peasant archers, of course. But still, GG all round. So I'm just going to message Warden to jump in. Cool. I'm just going to quickly hop on to Discord. Where's the commander himself? There he is. sent him a message. That's all good. Hop back in the game. We may crash, we may not. We'll find out. What do the peasants want to see next? I'll ask them. So, Croissant is demanding that his peasants, which I assume are you guys here, what you want to see, what army do you want him to play? Oh, looks like chat disconnected. No, what's going on? My internet may have gone on my phone, which will be a nightmare. Hang on a sec. I'm just going to reset the internet on my phone. Unfortunately, my Wi-Fi does this. It's really good Wi-Fi, but it just disconnects randomly on your phone, which is bemusing. But it looks like I'm about to be back. Yes, guess who's back? Oh, I mean for the weaker armor. Yeah, 50 gold. Game not there. Damn it. Okay, we'll add you up. Cool. Cool, we'll get Croissant to add you Duncan and then invite you in. If it still doesn't work, we'll redo the lobby. If it says it's full again, it's fine. But this is going to be the final battle, I'm afraid, folks. I am starving. Fortunately, Ninja, if you're still there, I really apologise. I know you did message me midway through, seeing if you could play. I will definitely try and get you into the next one. So, get Duncan in there. Cool, so Croissant could be the first king of the hill to win 3 in a row. That would be a first and make him top of the leaderboard. Hey, Storm Runner is in here. That's the wrong guy. Someone on public has just said, spill the beans on your mum, I bang loads, bro, I love sex. Nice no, dude. Nice to know. So yeah, Croissant will get in touch with Duncan and we'll get going. Cool, it says I have a chat when I don't. I'll hop on Discord quick and make sure everything's all good. Cool. Sort that out. And we'll choose a map. What map are you guys thinking? And what armies do you want to see? Croissant has demanded the peasants. Give him commands. Peace out, Poison Ducky. This is going to be the last one as well, bro. Thank you for sticking through a very long stream. How long have we been going for now? It's about 2.5 hours. Always good to see you around. And once again, another shout out, Poison Ducky does have a YouTube channel, so please do go check him out. Super nice guy. Very good competitor as well. Could actually end up being a 3-way tie at the top. Which would be pretty damn exciting. Cool. Hopefully they've managed to find each other. They're both on my Discord. So they do know who each of it are. Hey, the Grey Warden! Whoop! So it looks like the peasants haven't requested anything. Oh. Map. We are going to be playing on... Let's see how long I can drag this on out for Mirrorwoods. Because the peasants don't know what they want. That's why they have rollers. Oh, I love that. Absolutely love that. Oh, one more sub. Yes, Luca. Yes. You're a god. You're an absolute goat, my friend. Sure, man. I'll play you any day, dude. Well, when I'm around, obviously. And if you want to play in a tournament at all, it doesn't matter if you're new or you're super experienced, let me know. Message me on Discord, same name, Rubber Duck of War, and I'll add you to my Discord. And every time I do anything, I need to actually add the new guys who played today as well. Every time I announce a stream or something, I message there first, try and recruit people, and then I message all the other Discords. But thank you so much for the sub. It means a huge amount. Map. Oh! I said a map, didn't I? I believe I did. So this will be the final battle. Will Croissant make it free and become the one true king? We've already had 2-on-2. Or will the Grey Warden, who is Warden Commander Duncan, manage to take the throne and end at least undefeated? Wood Elf Tree Rash. Well, looks like your king is going for that. Oh, how's that? I need to quickly block out anything. Oh, there you go. Almost forgot. I'm being very impressed with myself. Actually managed to keep an eye on that for the most part. It has gone really well. So it's looking... Did they actually select up here? The peasants have chosen wood elves. I mean, let him know. It looks like he's going for them anyway. People should only play mirror battles in Mirror Woods. I think I would cry. You would actually hear me cry doing it. I've had to do mirror matches before on the channel. It's a streamer's worst nightmare, honestly. I'm not a tourney player, you know, I play with friends and that's it. Well, that's equally cool, bro. If you ever fancy doing any tournaments, I do run them, and opportunities like this, and it's all my tournaments. There's elements of competitivity about it, like people do want to win, obviously, but they're all super chill. I'm always open for any kind of player to join, basically, as long as they're nice and they get on with people and they don't cause lots of problems or cheat or any of that type of stuff. Always have them back as well. So if you are interested, man, let me know. If you're just happy watching, I'm equally grateful for that. Still didn't get anything about the map. Can you not see my messages? Cool. I'll send a message in Discord anyway, so. Am I invisible? I hope not. Is this how I get... Who knows why that's still there, but it's fine. Wow. For some reason I seem to be mute in their chat, which isn't good. Who's your money on, though? Do you think the king, the true king, Croissant Talbert, which is a very king-like name, will hold on to his crown, or will the Grey Warden sneak in at the death and take it from underneath him? Heads up, Duncan is a relatively new player to the multiplayer scene, which is always good to see. And he played a best of 3 against me like 2 days ago. So there's a Come At Me Bro series I do where I play against people and so forth. And I played a best of 3 against him and a best of 3 against Ninja Penguin. So you can go back and watch those. Yes, very good player with some good games. Mirror Woods. Mirror Woods croissant, please. I'll send a message on Steam as well. Hey, Mirror Woods! The dream! The dream! We're up, we're running. We're good to go. Would be new for? I've always been the coach, not the player. You've been a coach. Interesting, man. Who have you coached before? Anyone I would know? That's quite interesting, not playing but coaching. For you are talking MU. Oh, because it was a mirror match between them two. So you must respect the king. Wherever possible. Also, is anyone in chat in any clans? I always wonder how those things form. I think I spied that Noob for Life was actually now part of Extreme Meme Team. Which is very cool. Ooh, sorry, I'm just looking through the chat now. Remember times when tournaments with 1 to 3 chosen legendary lords that you'll play a whole tournament were quite popular. Sometimes ridiculous and badass. How's that? Remember times where tournaments with 1 to 3 chosen... Oh, so you could only play those ones. I did a tournament like that not too long ago. You could pick 4 factions or something, and then you... 3 factions, and then you decide the matchups between you and the other player, and I actually got to the semi-finals, I think. It's the best I've done in a tournament. I'm not a tournament player myself. I wish I was, but I tend to work weekends, and most tournaments are played on weekends. I've got this weekend and next weekend off, however, so I may be able to hop in. Some tournaments should be fun, or host my own like this, which is cool. But I tend to host tournaments middle of the week, normally Wednesday, just because there's kind of a gap in the market there for one. I don't want to be competing against other people. Being quite a new YouTube channel myself. No, the game's crashed. No, it hasn't crashed. Yeah, well, what are you doing? Poo. I'm trying to get onto OBS and my screen's just gone black. Oh, so task manager. No, the final fight. Why? We've been so lucky getting the crashes when the game's not been going on. I was a bit suspect we hadn't crashed since, but it's not letting me open up task manager or anything. No, I don't. I want to do the final battle. I don't want this to end. Do I wait and see if it works? Is the question. This is so frustrating. I can get OBS up, but as soon as I click on it, it doesn't do anything. I'm gonna have to try and close Total Warhammer, I think. Apologies, guys. This is equally frustrating for me, unfortunately. The whole thing seems to have crashed. Come on. Help! Someone send something to help. Some tech guy to help me. I don't have to restart my whole computer because I'll lose the stream. I might have to let them fight it and put up as a replay later. This game don't want us to see the glory of the tree rush. I think he was doing that as well. I think it's actually my main faction is Lizardmen, I think. I'm quite good with Norskins. High Elves as well, I think. Oh, I'm afraid, guys, I think I'm going to have to end the stream by completely destroying resetting my computer. which is going to crash the stream, which sucks. Balls, it seems Total War has just crashed, but it won't let me open up Task Manager. Or it does, but as I click on it, it just goes to this horrible black screen. I don't know how to get out of it. So I think I'm going to have those guys play the battle offline and send me the replay, and then I'll put it up probably tomorrow for you. Which is, I'm actually really upset with that. That's so annoying. Sorry for all the technical difficulties we've had today. Most of it's just been the game. Like, everything on my end seems to be fine. Internet's been fine. OBS has been behaving itself. YouTube has been behaving itself. But yeah, I literally won't let me close the game. Control-Alt-Delete won't work either. But I'm going to try one last thing. Okay, don't know if that closed the stream. Hopefully it didn't. Looks like everything's still up and running, but yeah, sorry guys, the game has crashed and it won't open. So I'm going to have to love you and leave you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so sorry. It's a real bit of bummer on like such a great stream. We're not going to be able to see the final game because I'm going to have to reset everything, and that will take down the stream, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to get those guys to play it offline, and I'll put up the results tomorrow and upload the video. So apologies, guys. But I will see you next time. Peace, guys, and stay awesome.